welcome to the Pope on Film. I am Bunny Williams, and with me is...
I am the Pope in question. My name is Reverend Steve. I am the founder of the Church of Ed Wood, which is an actual thing worth a Google. It is episode 415 of the podcast. Don't question that number. Why would we lie to you? We're podcasters. They don't just give a podcast to anyone. And this is going to be an episode where we're really going to be killing a lot of birds. It's going to be focused so much on bird killing.
Yes.
For whatever reason, this episode, we're going to be obsessed with killing birds. So this week's movie is The Suicide Squad. So, killing a lot of birds today.
Thank God. There are too many birds, and, the whole tweet every fucking morning. Please.
Yep. Too many
Don't
birds,
start with
not
me
enough.
on the goddamn birds.
Yeah, too many birds, not enough clothes hangers. Clothes. FYI, I took an edible about an hour and 45 minutes ago, and it has kicked in. So this is going to be a great episode of the podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about police violence, the new Marvel movie, Emus.
Yes.
Emus. Potato tomato. We're going to be talking about Sylvester Stallone, David Ayer, the movie Bright. It's going to be crazy. And of course, we're going to be taking a deep dive into the movie The Suicide Squad. So, let's get to it. Oh, I also forgot, we're going to be talking about Willem Dafoe's penis later. So, look for that. It's going to be exciting. All Willem Dafoe penis, all the time. Okay, now let's get to it. Buddy!
Yes!
Well, the summer is over, and you know what that means. That means that we no longer have to watch movies in the IMDb bottom 100. Oh, thank the fucking Lord Jesus Christ. This summer sucked.
Yes.
So
yes, it
hard.
did.
So badly. But now that we're done, now that we've made it through that dark, dank cave that was the summer of bottoming, and now that here we are on the other side of summer, facing a bright new future. A future that's full of happiness and promise. So let's start this episode of the podcast on a positive note and talk about how all cops are violent fucking bastards.
Okay.
Yay! So this summer, the NYPD, which it should be noted is the largest police department in the entire United States, the NYPD announced that it will be training all 35,000 plus police officers in de-escalation tactics using a new system. It's called ICAT, and it's by PERF. Oh, okay, so ICAT stands for Integrating Communications, Assessment, and Tactics. That's the new de-escalation system. And the training was concocted by PERF, which stands for the Police Executive Research Forum.
Oh, nice, okay.
And so ICAT is de-escalation training for police in situations where the subject doesn't have a gun. Fun fact, Bunny. Well, not so fun. But since 2015, according to the Washington Post, 40% of all people killed by police did not have a gun.
Go figure.
Go fucking figure. Nearly half of all people killed by police did not have a gun. So PERF is going to be teaching the NYPD their new ICAT system. Wow, that's a lot of letters. And that has to be a really hard job. So what's your job? Oh, I'm one of those, I'm a pit crew for NASCAR. I've got to change 4 tires in 2.5 seconds. Oh, that's a difficult job. What's your job? Oh, gotta teach kindergartners and first graders.
Not to eat each other's boogers.
I do active shooter drills.
Yes.
Gotta teach preschoolers about a crazed white guy with a gun trying to kill you. Oh, what's your job? Oh, I've got to teach the NYPD not to fucking shoot people. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
fuck, we got a winner. Ding, 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 motherfucker. God damn. You might as well teach a fish not to swim.
Today's lesson, we are concentrating on teaching the police how to tell the difference between a gun and a banana.
Okay, so here's the first situation. So a black teen is walking down the street and, I know, we shoot him in the face. No, you do not shoot him. I'm not even done explaining the situation. Okay, here you go. The teen has a soda in his hands. Well, he must have stolen that soda. So I aim for the head, and then no, you do not shoot. He just has a soda in his hand. That's all. Yes, but he could throw it at me, so it's a weapon. So I aim for the neck, and okay, no, let's try a different situation. Okay, so you're walking down the street and you see a woman, and then you, rape time? No, it's not rape time. Jesus. Okay, how about this? A Latino couple is, see, now most people would beat them and then shoot them, but me, I'd shoot first. So if you are having a hard day at your job, just think, at least your job isn't to try and teach the NYPD to not kill people.
Yes.
So at least there's one bright point. Hopefully I have cheered you up now, and you can go about the rest of your day just with a little bit of a spring in your step, you know? Mm-hmm. Hooray. And cut on that. There's that bit. Buddy!
Yes!
So I have the AMC A-List membership, and what that is a subscription service where for $19.95 a month, I get 3 free movies a week. And so from December 2018 to March 2020, I managed to see 177 films in a 66-week period. And then the pandemic ruined everything, but movie theaters are finally back open, and so am I. So let's talk new movies with another installment of Steve Subs of the Week. Really
da, 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 da. Dun, dun.
Nice, I like that. This week's installment of Steve Subs represents my 10th and 11th week back in theaters, and in that time, I have seen 21 movies in theaters. The week after Labor Day, I only saw 1 movie, because I had Monday off, and that's one of the days that I usually go and see movies, so I only saw 1 movie this past week. But the week before that, I saw 2 movies, so a combined total of 3 movies we're covering this week on Steve Subs of the Week. So these past 2 weeks, I saw the following 3 movies in theater. Candyman.
Okay.
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. And once again, Free Guy. Oh. So every week I pick a movie pick of the week that that is not necessarily a movie that I like, but one I want to talk about. But first, let's discuss the 2 movies that were not chosen as my movie pick of the week. Number 1, Free Guy. I am getting very close to catching up with every single solitary movie that is out in theaters.
Yes.
There are only a few movies in theaters, in my very small Midwestern town at least, that I haven't seen. I haven't seen the movie Stillwater, where Matt Damon has repurposed the Amanda Knox story to earn an Oscar nomination. And then there's the movie Don't Look 2. I didn't see Don't Look 1, but I don't think I have to see Don't Look 1 and Don't Look 2 because I already saw the film. It was called Blind Fury, and it starred Rutger Hauser
Yeah.
as a blind guy who was also a ninja. So I've already seen both of Don't Look and Don't Look 2. So I don't really want to see it. And then whatever the Oscar bait is that Sean Penn just released a movie, and it stars him and his daughter.
Okay.
And I have no interest in seeing that. So instead of seeing one of those 3 movies that I haven't seen, I just went and saw Free Guy again. It's just dumb fun, and there's a bunch of video game references in it, and the story is interesting, and it's a pretty good movie. But man, the guy Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds, he just carries the movie, and then the bad guy is Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
And so it's just win-win. It's such a fun film. It's dumb, fun, and I love it. And I've seen it twice in theaters now, and I loved it both times. I laughed out loud both times.
Good.
And it's just such a fun movie. And then my second movie that was not chosen as my movie pick of the week, and full disclosure, this was difficult. Because out of the other 2 movies that I saw, either one of them could have been my movie pick of the week. Either one of them. So I flipped a coin.
Okay.
To see who would be my movie pick of the week. And the one that lost the coin toss was the new film Candyman. They made 3 Candyman movies in the 90s. Candyman 1, Candyman 2, Return to the Flesh, and Candyman 3, Look Who's Candymaning. I don't fucking know. But this new Candyman film is a direct sequel to the first movie.
Okay.
A lot of people assume that it's a reboot, but no, it's a 100% direct sequel. And here's the thing. I've been clear about this on the podcast, but growing up, I was an absolute wuss who hated horror movies.
Yes.
I absolutely hated horror movies, didn't like watching them, didn't watch them a lot. I wasn't a big fan of horror movies. And then I was in a robbery at work, and when a crazed, drug-addled robber points a live, fully loaded gun to your head and says, "Give me all of the money in the safe or I'm going to fucking kill you," you realize that House of a Thousand Corpses isn't that bad of a movie to watch.
Yeah.
So, from the robbery on, I've been slowly but surely trying to catch up on horror movies that I haven't seen and horror franchises and yada, yada, yada. I recently saw this ridiculous map that charted out the timeline of the Halloween movie franchise.
Really? Okay.
And it's just ridiculous, because like, here's Halloween 2, way over here is Halloween 3, here's Halloween 4, 5, and 6, here's Halloween 7 and 8 on a separate line, here's Halloween 9 and 10 that were Rob Zombie, so they're over here in the corner and we don't talk about it, and here are the new ones. They're working on 3 of them. 1 has been released, the second one's about to be released, and they're a direct sequel to number 1, but not number 2 through 5, and it's like, oh my god, this is insane. I didn't realize how insane the Halloween movies were. I guess I didn't see all of them. I guess I saw 1, 2, and 3 and Rob Zombie, and that was it. So I recently downloaded all of the Halloweens, and that's going to be insane to watch. I was a big fan of the third one.
The third Halloween?
Yeah, I was a really big fan of the third Halloween.
I haven't seen it since the original and since its original run, and I really need to go back to it. I have no judgment on this movie at all. I did, of course, hate it like everybody else when it came out. But more? Okay. But go ahead. I lost what I was saying.
Okay. So the
I'm
Candyman
sorry.
franchise, how they would show Halloween on TV, and I wouldn't watch it because it was too scary as a
Yeah.
kid. And then they'd show Halloween 2, and I wouldn't watch that because if I'm too scared to watch Halloween 1, I'm not going to watch Halloween 2. And then suddenly TV is showing Halloween 3, and suddenly there's fucking witches and Stonehenge, and they're using it to make kids' heads fucking melt or turn into bugs or some shit. And that I would watch on TV because it wasn't that scary, it wasn't that gory. It's not like they're cutting out a bunch of shit. And
Yeah.
so I would watch Halloween 3 fairly regularly, like every other Halloween growing up. But I never watched the other Halloweens until I was older, so I'm going to be catching up on the Halloweens. But one horror franchise I never saw or never caught up on was freaking Candyman. I never saw any of the Candyman movies. Uh, so
Yeah.
when, so I'm like, oh, they're making another Candyman. Oh, I'm not really interested in that. And then I saw that it was written by Jordan Peele, who
Yeah.
wrote who wrote Get Out and also wrote Us, which I loved. I saw that like 3 or 4 times in theaters when that came out. And so I read the original story that Candyman was based on. It's in one of Clive Barker's Books of Blood books. I read the short story, and then I saw the original Candyman, and then I went to go see the new Candyman movie, and that was the absolute best thing because I thought that the new Candyman was going to be like a reboot, but no, it's a direct sequel. So I'm really glad that I put the effort in and read the original story and watched the original movie before I went to go see the new one. But it is a great movie, and I really liked it because it felt like the first Candyman movie was a black story, but told from a rich white person's perspective. Because the star of the movie is like this rich white woman who's trying to get her doctorate at a rich college,
Yeah.
you know? So this new Candyman movie is that same black story, but finally told from a black perspective. And I really liked it. It was really good. I was really interested in it. And yeah, I freaking loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was really,
Good,
really
because
good.
I have not been hearing outstanding things about it yet. But again, the horror community is not necessarily any better than the Star Trek community or the Star
Yes.
Wars community, where it's like, my God, it's new, I hate it.
Yeah.
It's not Tony Todd. Well, how the fuck old is Tony Todd now?
Tony Todd does make an appearance in the film.
Yeah, good.
So I was happy about that.
Yeah,
He does make an appearance. They discuss in the movie about how Candyman isn't just one person, but a number of people who were wronged over the decades, over
yeah.
the centuries, and Tony Todd was one of them. So he does make an appearance, uh, but and then during the credits, it sort of tells the story of some of the other Candymen throughout history, and it's so I stayed through the entire credits, and oh, surprise, surprise, the entire theater who I saw the movie with, comprised entirely of white people, did not stay for the credits. Really surprising, huh? Wonder how they felt about the part where the corrupt white police officers got their comeuppance. So
The original Candyman, I felt was like too good of a movie to get like cult status in the way that Halloween or Friday the 13th did,
yeah,
because there was just too much actual plot with Candyman
Yeah.
and why he was killing people.
Hey, can you tell Maxwell that the sun should be starting just a little bit?
But I am
Thing's been
very
doing it
interested
for
in
a
seeing this new one.
Yeah, it's really good.
Especially with Jordan Peele, because he's been fucking kicking ass. I still find that very surprising, because, like, he's the comedy guy.
Yeah,
You know,
he's
like,
doing great. He didn't direct it, but he wrote the entire script, and damn, it's a good script. It's really good.
but in all these years, I've still not fully accepted Peter Jackson doing Lord of the Rings either. So,
Yes,
I mean, like,
absolutely.
you're the fucking Meet the Feebles guy. No, you don't do this.
You
You
wrote
make
the
fart joke movies.
you wrote the sodomy song.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. Finally, my Steve Stubbs movie pick of the week is Shang-Chi, and the Legend of the Ten Rings. And I want to start off discussing the new Shang-Chi movie by giving a shout out to the camera first assistant in the credits. Because I pay close attention to the end credits, and I just wanted to give a shout out to the camera first assistant, a man by the name of Todd Schlopey.
Oh, the
S C
Schloper. Schloperino.
Schlopy. His name was Todd Schlopy. If you think you had a bad childhood, I want you to think about Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings camera first assistant, Mr. Todd Schlopy. And think about his childhood.
Yes.
Todd Schlopy's childhood.
Yes.
Because I guarantee you, people were not nice to Todd Schlopy. Okay, so
Just like the assistant paint supervisor in Justice League.
yeah, yeah,
Huh?
yeah. What was his name again?
I forget. I would have to look him up.
Yeah, it's okay. So, I felt that Black Widow was a good movie, but not a good Marvel movie.
Yeah.
And I was just really disappointed in Black Widow. I felt that it should have been released right after Civil War. But it didn't. But the reason why it didn't happen right after Civil War is that former Marvel CEO Ike Perlmutter was an asshole.
Yes.
Former Marvel CEO Ike Perlmutter was a real fucking son of a bitch. Originally, they wanted a woman to be the bad guy in Iron Man 3, but Ike Perlmutter put his foot down and said, if you have a woman bad guy, then no one will buy action figures. So get rid of the chick. And it's like, oh, fuck you, Ike Perlmutter. They recently announced, and I talked about this on the Pope on Film Facebook group, but they were working on a live action Marvel New Warriors live action TV show, which features a team of young superheroes trying to make a difference. And a lot of it was going to be based on the Great Lakes Avengers,
Yeah.
which was like like the D-list Avengers team, and it featured one of my favorite actresses, Lily from AT&T, and she was also the one that the captain had a crush on the show Other Space, which I was
Okay.
obsessed with for a while. She is now the like AT&T girl, I think, or is it Verizon? I think it's AT&T. Anyway, it would have starred her as Squirrel Girl, and they recorded a pilot, but Ike Perlmutter canceled the pilot because, quote, it was too gay.
Okay.
So now Ike Perlmutter has stepped down as his role as the Marvel CEO, and there's been a lot of buzz over the past couple of days because the guy who directed the pilot that was canceled clips and snippets of it have started to leak, and people are really rallying over the fact that we could have had a live-action Squirrel Girl, but the former CEO, who is a son of a bitch, and it was his idea to make that goddamn Inhumans TV show.
Uh-oh.
So fuck this guy, Ike Perlmutter.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that now that Ike Perlmutter has stepped down, then maybe we will get to see this new Warriors TV show with a live-action Squirrel Girl. Fingers crossed. But yeah, Ike Perlmutter was the one who was like, Black Widow? You mean a comic book movie starring a chick? I don't think so. So now they released the Black Widow movie, and it's like, I don't really care about this character who just died anymore.
Yeah.
You know? So I was really disappointed with it. I just didn't like.
Well, you know, I mean, just kind of the premise of you have to rescue abused, highly trained killer assassins?
Yeah.
You know, I like, how are they holding highly trained killer assassins?
Yeah.
To begin with, like, you know, and then I was kind of underwhelmed with how they handled the other characters, like, oh god, I always want to keep calling them fucking Crimson Dynamo.
Yeah. The Red Guardian.
The Red Guardian, yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to see more of that. I wanted to see more. Okay, so now she's on this team, and we're doing superhero shit, and it wasn't. It was way more subdued.
Yeah, it was like a family drama with a few action sequences, but not a comic book movie. FYI, I just saw on Twitch that this is episode 415 Suicide Squad. Okay, I thought it said episode 414 Disaster Movie for a second, but no.
It's highly possible. I'm having a hard time figuring out the Twitch thing, and I don't know where all of our shit's gone. So
Yeah.
I don't know if they're pulling it after we record it or whatever. I'm not sure what's up with Twitch.
Yeah, I'm confused by Twitch. My wife has been streaming lately. She's been doing pretty well with herself. But this movie, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, this is a fucking Marvel movie.
Oh, good.
This is everything I wanted Black Widow to be. It's entertaining. It's fun. There's really great action sequences. And the movie fucked with me. Let me tell you something. The Marvel TV shows are ruining my ability to watch Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, welcome to our mystic kingdom. It's in another dimension, and here we live in peace. We used to be attacked by this evil, but we locked it up in this cave. You see this giant red cave? That's where the evil lives. The red evil. This is where the red evil comes from, and sometimes it wants to get out. But we are the keepers of the red evil. We make sure that the red evil is here, and it'll never escape. But sometimes it whispers to people and tells them that I will give you the one thing you desire if you come to this mystic kingdom and break me out of this cave. And I'm sitting there in the theater going, God damn it, I know it's not Mephisto.
Yeah.
I know it's not Mephisto.
Because he's Doctor Strange right now.
But is it Mephisto? And it's like, fucking, of course it's not Mephisto. But the goddamn internet, YouTube, Twitter, and the live-action Marvel TV shows have convinced me that everything's fucking Mephisto now.
Yeah.
So that's fucking me up. But Shang-Chi is fucking great, and it's fucking funny. It's so funny because Shang-Chi's best
Just by
friend.
the way, just quickly by the way, I do want to talk more about this in Bunny Versus. So go
Okay,
ahead.
cool. Shang-Chi's best friend is played by actress Aquafina, and she's just so realistic, and I absolutely fucking love her. And I don't want to, maybe light spoiler alert, but my favorite character in the MCU is back in this film, and I'm very excited. My favorite actor in the MCU is back in Shang-Chi, and I popped in the theater when he showed up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my god, he's back! I was hoping he would come back, and now he is back, and I am so fucking excited! And he was also one of the best parts of the movie. I really like Shang-Chi, and I might go see it again next week.
I
It's just fun.
I realized for the first time that Aquafina was in this movie. I'm sitting here and I'm doing things. The TV's playing. Something came up about Shang-Chi, and all of a sudden I heard Danny DeVito,
Yeah. I freaking
and I was
love
like,
her so much.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I absolutely adore her so much. So, Shang-Chi, movie pick of the week. It's an actual Marvel movie as opposed to Black Widow. And although I do like Black Widow, if for no other reason, the May Queen from Midsommar is in it. And because of that, I like Black Widow. But Shang-Chi is like a return to form, and I'll definitely see it a couple of more times in theaters if I can. So that's it for Steve Stubbs of the Week this week. Next week, James Wan, who came up with the Saw movie franchise, the Insidious movie franchise, the Conjuring movie franchise. He has a new horror movie out, and I'm so excited to see it. Yay!
Yeah.
And maybe Shang-Chi again, I don't fucking know, but join us next week for more up-to-date movie reviews with Steve Stubbs of the Week. And cut on that. Bunny!
Yes.
We still have a whole podcast to get to. We have everyone's favorite podcast segment, Bunny Versus, coming up. We've got Steve Historical Approximations, where we're going to be talking about two things. The Emus and Rob Schneider.
Okay.
Oddly,
It's so odd. Whenever somebody is talking about emus, somehow Rod Snyder comes up. Like they go together on some kind of a cosmic level.
Wait,
Yeah.
what was that about emus?
And Rob
This week-
Snyder.
Wait,
Rob Schneider.
why were you guys talking about emus?
I don't know, because he's
Oh,
introducing what we're going to
that's
be doing in the rest of the
Shaq is
show.
all
Because I had an
emus.
emu in my
It's
yard
emu.
once.
Really?
I just want to throw that out.
That is weird. Okay. We're going to be talking about how not to kill them.
Okay.
Okay.
That's going to be Shaq. Because you might think you know the proper way to kill an emu. Let me tell you, you don't know how.
Okay.
Many people have tried. So, and then our movie this week is The Suicide Squad. So, and I'll definitely not be telling you how to get your hands on a free copy of the soundtrack, because that would be illegal, so I won't be doing that. To be clear. So you shouldn't listen in to see how you can get yourself a free copy of the Suicide Squad soundtrack. I'm not saying that. I'm
Yes.
saying don't do that. Don't expect it. So legally, if this is ever read in a court case, then we are clear, because I am in no way, saying that. But before we do any of that, maybe we should take a break. Should we take a break, Bunny?
We should take a break.
I concur. We will be right back with more of the Poop on Film after this. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. This is the outro music. Do 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 do. Skiddy bop do wow and break.
fan of commerce, but the internet has enabled the small business owner to increase his cash flow more than in the past 25 years than in the entire recorded history.
Republicans had cause to laugh today, and no, I'm not talking about Trump care. They're fine with that. The book Reasons to Vote for Democrats, a comprehensive guide, released on February 8, 2017, and written by Michael J. Knowles, became Amazon's #1 bestseller. The book, which contains 266 blank pages, has a loyal fan base who were more than happy to leave a review singing its praise. While many found the book informative, captivating, and the best book they have seen this year, others found that the 266 blank pages actually gave them nightmares. Some purchasers of the book found the blank pages too daunting and are anxiously awaiting the audio version. The GOP base, who vigilantly scrutinizes any and all events for even the slightest hint of conspiracy, concocted this very plausible scenario. Quote, I totally called that Dems would copy this idea and call it their own. Remember, kids, if they didn't have double standards, they wouldn't have standards at all. Unquote. In fact, this has already happened when liberal trolls released this book 2 months earlier. Why Trump Deserves Trust, Respect, and Admiration, written by David King, contains 206 blank pages. TPOF analyst Floyd Likes-the-Cox notes that it took Michael J. Knowles 2 months to plagiarize a blank book. While many agree with Mr. Likes-the-Cox, critics are quick to point out that blank novelty books have been a staple of the publishing and novelty industry for many years. They believe that this may indicate that the plagiarism could potentially go back much, much further. Those who are aware of the book Why Trump Deserves Trust, Respect, and Admiration repeatedly point out that that book never made the #1 spot on Amazon's bestseller list. Research conducted by Satoshi Kanazawa of the London School for Economics and Political Science seems to indicate that Democrats prefer books that actually have words in them.
In the good old days, this doesn't happen because they used to treat them very, very rough. And when they protested once, they would not do it again so easily. Are you from Mexico? Are you from Mexico? In the good old days, I love the old days. They used to do the guys like that when they were in a place like this. They'd be carried out of a stretcher, folks.
I want
you a soulless monster stitched together with the bodies of the dead? Were you brought to life via a hideous experiment that was meant to usurp God's authority? Are you damned to roam the earth, a soulless monster without a soul? Well then, simply try Chia Soul. Chia Soul. Simply spread the seeds, water them, and in a few weeks you'll have your very own soul. Chia Soul. By the maker of Chia Pubes.
Better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. 'Cause I'm coming to town. I'm making a list, and I'm checking it twice. I'm gonna find out who's naughty and who's nice. I see you when you're sleeping. I know when you're awake. I know if you've been bad or good, but that won't save your life.
What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Lend me your ears and I'll sing you a song. I will try not to sing out of key. Yeah. Oh, baby, all I need is my love. I say I'm gonna get high. Somebody knows what I'm showing. Baby, say I'm gonna make you my friend. I'm gonna keep on trying. I'm gonna keep on trying.
I'll be coming back. For next week's episode. You come back too. Or burn in hell for eternity.
Bob's not a fan of commerce, but the internet has enabled the small business owner to increase his cash flow more than in the past 25 years than in the entire recorded history.
Republicans had cause to laugh today, and no, I'm not talking about Trump care. They're fine with that. The book, Reasons to Vote for Democrats, a comprehensive guide, released on February 8, 2017, and written by Michael J. Knowles, became Amazon's #1 bestseller. The book, which contains 266 blank pages, has a loyal fan base who are more than happy to leave a review singing its praise.
And we're back with more of the Pope on Film.
Money.
Yes.
Are you ready for another exciting installment of everyone's favorite podcast segment, Bunny Versus, starring the incomparable, the illustrious, the star-studded Bunny Williams? Are you ready? Are you pumped? Are you amped? Are you jazzed? Are you psyched? Are you revved up? Are you primed? Are you Optimus Prime? Are you ready, Bunny?
I am goddamn ready.
Okay. Then without any further ado, it's time once again for Bunny Versus. And now here is your host, Bunny Williams. Take it away, Bunny.
So we have the Filipino flag
Okay.
in honoring all of the new members that we've had join the Facebook group. Not all from the Philippines. Australia was well represented. Canada was well represented as well, but predominantly from the Philippines. Hey, everybody!
I think a large portion of that is just the probably fake Spider-Man No Way Home trailer that I posted.
Yeah, probably, but still, like, why was that a hit in the Philippines?
I don't know.
You know, and it's nothing to do with the Philippines itself. It's just really odd when you get an influx all from one specific area.
Yeah.
Just like
huge
the
in
times we were
Philippines.
hot in Bulgaria for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah, just Filipinos just really get us, you know?
Yeah, that's what I like to think.
Yeah.
So this is for all of our new Filipino members and friends. Please be active in the group. Say something. Introduce yourself. Hi, how are you? We love you.
Yeah. You're here.
The introduction for Dabney is almost finished.
Nice.
It is. I have it down now, broken down. Like, all the animation is done and the first render is done. Then I have to chop that up into the camera shots to do the additional effects.
Yeah.
So I have 13 additionals. I have 13 shots. I have to do that part. Then the introduction for the first episode will be done.
Nice.
And then I have written many, many more. I've written like another 4 episodes.
Very cool. Very
Now,
cool.
what I need, and I keep meaning to post about it in the group, is I need very short, really, really fucked up videos. Like 30 seconds or less. Because I'm planning on ending the break with basically a moment of zen. Like the Daily Show used to do. But a moment of, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
I have 2 so far to give you an idea of the kind of thing I'm looking for. I have the Japanese girl playing the flute with her vagina. Remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
And I have master martial artists getting kicked in the nuts over and over and over and over again. And hitting their nuts with bricks.
You know what you
and
should
other
put?
items.
You know what you should put? You should put the Power Team.
Power Team? Who are they?
They were those bodybuilders from like the 80s on UHF Christian stations that would
Send me a clip!
They would lift 5,000 pounds and then they'd rip 100 phone books in half and then they'd talk about how their power comes from Jesus. They were the Power Team. They were everywhere back in the day.
That sounds like it has potential.
Hold on.
Okay,
Hold on a second,
nobody has to send like a 30-second clip. You don't have to be looking for 30-second clips. But if you're watching something and you see 30 seconds of something that's really fucked up, let me know. I'll clip it out.
Okay.
So anyway.
Now, hold on, Bunny, because my high schooler is here right next to the camera. They're coming in hot, and they've got something.
Uh-oh.
But you know the video that they just posted about us once because it was too inappropriate or whatever?
What video? I don't remember. I feel like I've said that a lot. Hello Kitty doesn't have a mouth. Yes, I vaguely remember that. It's 44 seconds? Okay. I vaguely remember that. It was some really creepy video that they were obsessed with and would watch it over and over again, and finally I had to put my foot down. Stop watching the creepy Hello Kitty video. That's a good one. I would like to just point out that I have a high schooler who used to go by another name, but they don't go by that name anymore. You can either call them Malachite or by their nickname, Gizmo.
Okay.
I have shortened Malachite to Mal, as in Mal Reynolds from Firefly. So I try and go by Mal. My two youngest really like the name Gizmo. So
Whose arms are detachable? Go figure. So who is this now?
Come here.
Oh god.
This is
Malachite
Mal.
or Gizmo? Okay,
This is
cool.
Mal. They also go by Gizmo. That's the nickname, but Malachite is the name, or Mal for short.
Mal is also acceptable?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
So that's Mal. I keep accidentally dead naming them, but that's just force of habit, and we are all trying really hard. We're working on it.
Yes.
So there's that. Just wanted to point that out while I had Mal here. Hooray!
Hooray!
Yeah, I'm a little bit high right now. I'm eating chips like a real
Look,
professional podcast.
what did Malachite think of Suicide Squad?
Did you see this? Mal saw some of the Suicide Squad, but didn't see all of the Suicide Squad.
Oh, okay.
But Mal just said that they're a big fan of the Polka Dot Man. Who isn't?
Yes.
I relate to the Polka Dot Man's issues with his mom.
Yes.
That I could never murder someone, but if I had to murder someone, I can think of one very easy way that I could go about murdering someone. It's not my mom, but I get it, Polka Dot Man. I get it.
Same. It's got the same vibe.
Yeah.
So Dabney is going to and I'm sure I probably mentioned this before, so, deal with it. Dabney's going to start with an introduction, okay? And I've decided what I'm going to do. It's this Dabney's Dystopian Dreams.
Okay.
And then it's going to say featuring, and it's either going to be Tim Caldwell or Liz Day.
Okay.
So then Dabney does the introduction, and then we will have videos. That first section is going to be either you or us, things we've done together.
Okay.
Like QAnon Karen, like OK Ice Cream, or any of the other bits you've done yourself, or QAnon Karen, Hot Chicks in Glasses, Evil Henchman Warehouse, that kind of stuff. And then Dabney will come back with basically the asshole of the month, like Hustler used to do. The bit itself doesn't really have a title. Its working title is Fuck That Guy. So far I have got done Andy Warhol, Lindsey Graham, and Elon Musk.
We're going to be talking about Andy Warhol for a little bit in Act 3.
Yeah?
Uh-huh.
Well, these are short. This introduction has gone long. The regular introductions, I only want those to be 2 minutes. And then Fuck That Guy is going to be 1 minute. And then the What the Fuck is going to be like fucking seconds. Maybe it's going to be a minute. Dabney's going to say, we're going to roll out of either Tim or Liz's video. Dabney's going to say, like, so until next week, what the fuck is this? Or something like that. And a little 30-second video, and it's done.
Okay.
Along with little filler bits to fill in gaps. You know, stupid little shit I have laying around. That kind of thing. So that's what's going on with him. Suddenly he's been going on like a lot quicker. The animation leaves a lot to be desired, but fuck it, that's the whole goddamn point.
Yeah.
You know?
That's cool.
And how have you been, sir?
Good. It was nice to have a break after the hideous summer that we had watching the worst movies of all time.
Yes.
The time that I spent not doing the podcast has really been just about getting used to the new schedule that I live by, because, I wake up at the crack of dawn and start getting Eleanor ready for school, because Eleanor, my 5-year-old, is doing in-person school. So I get them ready for school, and then I drop them off at their kindergarten, and then I come home and work on getting Mal ready for high school, and then Mal heads off, and then it's time to set up virtual school for Maxwell, who's doing virtual school at home. And I get them all set up for virtual school, and then we do virtual school, and then he takes a break, and I make lunch for him, and then he has a little bit of time on his own, and then we come back to school, and then when he's finally done with school, we pick up Eleanor from school, I bring them home, we spend a little bit of time here at home, and then after that, either Mal comes home on the school bus or I have to pick Mal up because Mal's at like a club meeting or something. And then we come home, and then 3 days out of the week, 4 days out of the week, I have to give them baths and give them showers, get them all washed up, and then it's time to make dinner. And it's a whole routine. I have a job that starts at 6 a.m. and ends at around 10 p.m.
Yeah.
And it's quite difficult. And so I've just been trying to get into my routine. I have very busy days. I did get some free merch from the people at OK Nice Cream. They sent my wife and I these shirts.
Nice.
At oknicecream.com. And I'm really excited because they have 2 different versions of this shirt. The shirt that just has the logo, and a shirt that has the logo and that contains THC warning that they have on all of the products here in Oklahoma. And when they said that they were going to send me a free shirt, I said, can you make sure it has that contains THC? So they sent us 2 shirts, one for my wife and one for me. And so I'm really excited about that. We got, and these really nice bracelets. So really happy about that. There's a story I wanted to say, because I don't have that much to say this week. So I have just a story that I wanted to mention. I was considering turning it into a shap, but it was too short. So I thought, I'll just do it really quick. I'll just break it down to the basics for Bunny Versus. So Willem Dafoe, yeah?
Yeah.
The Green Goblin, and a member of Team Zissou is the way that I know him. And he also hangs out in a lighthouse and gets drunk and slow dances with another man.
Yes, he does.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Fucking love Willem. I'm hoping that one day he becomes so successful in Hollywood that he can finally afford the I and become William Dafoe.
That would be nice.
It would be. But
that would be nice. That would be better than the star on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah. But until then, he's just Willem. So he signed up to be in a Lars von Trier movie.
Yeah.
He signed up to be in the movie Antichrist, and because Willem Dafoe is a professional, he agreed to be naked in the movie. Full naked, including dongle, full total buck ass
Yes.
naked. So
And it happens early on, fairly early on in the film.
Yeah.
Because
So
the film was boring as shit.
Yeah.
And I literally couldn't go very far with this movie. I saw his cock in the shower, and I was like, well, you know,
Here's
it's
the thing.
not getting any better than this.
Here's the thing. You did not see his cock in the shower. So
No?
let's talk about
That was a stunt cock?
Let's talk about that. So, Willem Dafoe agrees to be fully naked in Lars von Trier's Antichrist. Oh, also, FYI, there's going to be possible dog noises throughout this entire episode. We're dog sitting Auntie Lauren's dog while she goes on a road trip to Texas just so she can eat at a Joe's Crab Shack.
Oh my God.
But anyway, so it's the day of filming Willem Dafoe's naked scene, so he gets naked, fully naked, showing his penis, and they take a couple of takes, and Willem Dafoe feels good about it, and that's the end of the day. So the cast, the producers, and second assistant, whatever the fuck, they head to the theater to watch the dailies, and everyone's confused. They're like, wait, what are we watching here? Is this a joke? Is this a prank? Like, I'm so confused at what I'm seeing here. Is this right? Is this what you wanted? As it turns out, Willem Dafoe has a fucking huge one.
Yeah.
Huge! King Kong! Fucking, I don't know if Willem Dafoe's his real name, but his real name might be John frickin' Holmes.
Really?
Is what I'm
Okay.
saying. I'm talking, is his name Mr. Incredible? Because something stretched out.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. It was so big that everyone who saw the footage was confused and distracted. So much so that they hired a second actor to be the stunt penis to be naked for Willem Dafoe, because that's how huge he was.
Okay, I think this demands a pause. A pause and a breath to really try to comprehend what it is that you've just said.
I know it's a shocker. It's a shocker.
So first, you got to figure Lars von Trier comes to William Dafoe and says, "Hey, I want you to be naked in my movie."
And
Okay.
then Willem Dafoe says, "You had me at I want you to be."
Yeah, I was like, you have no idea how many years I've been waiting to be asked.
Yeah.
Because he already knows he's got the enormous schlong. It has always been like a sub-goal in his career to get his enormous cock on film.
Yeah.
And here it is. And then the cherry on the cake is that your cock is so huge that it really cannot be taken seriously on film. It looks fucking comical. So we need to get
a stunt penis because they needed Willem Dafoe's penis to be smaller for the film.
So we need to get a stunt cock, somebody with a drastically smaller cock, to stand in for William Dafoe's massive penis. I mean, if you are William Dafoe, you've just got to be like, oh fuck yeah!
That had to be a difficult casting call to write.
Yeah.
Wanted, penis smaller than Willem Dafoe.
Well, I was thinking like Bela Lugosi's penis in Kung Fu Manchu.
Well, on the positive side, if they do ever decide to make a biopic of Milton Berle,
Yes.
we've got the perfect actor. Because I don't know if you know this, but Milton Berle.
Oh yes, we've
is
talked
supposed
about
to be
Milton
legendary.
Berle's penis
Okay,
before.
Okay. So, boom, we've already got the Milton Berle movie cast. Willem Dafoe.
We've covered Milton Berle's penis.
Okay, good.
And now
And
we've
now
covered
we've covered-
William Dafoe's penis.
Now we've covered Willem Dafoe's penis, yeah. So that's a positive. So that's me. How are you doing, Bunny?
Okay, let me just, because like Jeannie only caught bits and pieces of it.
Yeah.
William Dafoe's penis
Yeah.
is so big.
Bigger than Liam Neeson's?
I don't know. We have to find out in comparison to Liam Neeson, but his penis was cut out of a nude scene so that they can get a smaller penis because his penis is like comically large.
Are you sure that's the reason?
Oh yeah.
It
Oh, yeah.
wasn't because it's like weirdly misshapen, or
Well, just
No,
the
it was
size
too
of it is
big.
weird.
It was too
So
big.
yes, technically, that's exactly what I'm saying.
no? But how do you know that's why?
Oh, you mean if it was twisted into a French poodle?
Right, like a balloon
That's
animal.
possible. And frankly, I would like to see that if William Dafoe's penis was in fact twisted into a balloon poodle.
I assume you haven't seen the stage show puppetry of the penis before.
I have
Wow.
not seen puppetry of the penis. I have heard
Okay.
about it before.
It is a thing. Yeah.
I have been looking for a clip from Fernwood Tonight, and I hated Fernwood Tonight. I really
Fernwood
did not
Tonight?
like it. But
God damn.
I caught one. Because like it was a weird little like variety show kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But it was these two bald guys in tuxedos in front of a grand piano. And they both dropped their pants and raised their hands over their heads and started playing chopsticks.
Nice.
I thought that was like the funniest fucking thing ever, and I haven't found that clip. I would use that as a what the fuck.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
you know,
I kind of just wanted to chew over the Marvel movies a bit and what's going on and what are you excited about and what do you think and what kind of theories do you have, and let's make fun of other people's theories, that kind of stuff.
My theory of the MCU right now is that everyone is Mephisto.
Everyone is what?
Everyone is Mephisto.
Everyone is Mephisto.
That's
Yes. I
Everyone
kind of
is
get that
Mephisto.
feeling too. It's like, oh, come on.
The plants are Mephisto. I saw a scene of Shang-Chi where you saw 4 clouds. 4, like the Fantastic Four, Reed Richards confirmed.
Yeah. I don't think it is Doctor Strange, but I really don't think it's Mephisto.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's well, it could always be a Doctor Strange from the multiverse somewhere, since we're doing the whole multiverse thing. But Wong would not come off with that kind of attitude to Doctor Strange. You know? He may warn him sternly about doing something, but in the trailer, Wong was like actively angry, like, don't you fucking dare, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't think he would ever refer to the Sorcerer Supreme like that. I also don't think that he's going to come off like that with any kind of entity who could maybe turn around and just kick his ass.
That's a good
You know, like, he's not going to mouth off to Mephisto that way either.
Yeah.
You know? maybe somebody like on the Loki level.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And in fact, maybe it is Loki. I would like to see them tie together the split in the multiverse in Loki, and now the split in the multiverse in Doctor Strange, and tie that with the end scene from WandaVision. So the split in the multiverse is not necessarily any one of these things, but it's all three of these things that converged at the same time.
And let's not forget that the bad guy from the end of the first Doctor Strange movie is still fucking out there.
Baron Mordo?
Yeah.
Oh, I wish he would get... I love that guy. I wish he would get a pronounceable name.
Yeah, I feel that.
Like, I take note of his name all the time, but, like, I cannot...
Yeah.
It's gonna take a while. Hey, Taika Waititi took a while. You know,
Taika Waititi took a while.
But it was worth it. I'll get there. But God, I loved him from Serenity. Mm-hmm. You know? And I've seen him pop up in a couple of other things. I can't recall offhand everything. Was he in The Martian?
Shit, maybe, I don't know. I don't remember.
But anyway, yeah. And in fact, that's actually pretty plausible if you think about it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, a character like Baron Mordo has the ability to just like suck up to Doctor Strange a bit and suck up to Wong a little bit, and he would be brought back into the fold. You know, you could just see that happening. Yeah. You know, we've all studied under the ancient, that kind of a thing. So I could see him getting his, and you know, Wong is reluctant, but he would go along with it. You know, yeah, I think that's a good choice.
Yeah. Same.
Now, does Wong go out of the portal and, like, step directly into Shang-Chi?
I think so.
Because that's a cool concept.
Yeah.
Where you know right there, this happened, and then he walked through the portal, and now he's... Now watch this movie.
Yeah. I like the fact that someone on Twitter pointed out that Lil Nas X survived the snap.
Yeah.
And his reasoning behind that was there's a scene in Shang-Chi where Shang-Chi and Aquafina are at a karaoke bar and they sing Old Town Road, which came out at this year. And this one specific year was in the MCU during the 5-year period where everyone was snapped. So technically, this means that Lil Nas X survived the snap and released Old Town Road during the snap. And so there are a lot of people out there, apparently, this is a thing, of people trying to use the MCU movies to make a definitive list of the people who survived and who didn't survive. And so some random guy saw Shang-Chi and said, okay, so I noticed in one part that this song appeared, and so this means that Lil Nas X survived the snap. And so Lil Nas X retweeted this one guy's tweet. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I really have come to respect. I mean, I don't know music. I don't know fucking actors anymore, really. You know?
Yeah.
And forget sports figures. So, but I really like who Little Nas X has become. You know?
Yeah.
Just, I respect somebody who wants to go out there and is just going to be like, I'm just as gay as I want to be.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah, I love that.
You know? And he's really getting in some decent ass shots.
Yeah, he is.
You know? But
Yeah.
anyway. So he survived the snap.
Yeah, he survived the snap.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm starting to, I'm interested in Shang-Chi. I'm not really terribly interested in martial arts movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm
It's-
giving it.
it's-
I mean, I'm definitely gonna see it, but I'm gonna. I have my reservations.
Yeah.
You know, and Marvel, you've been kind of slipping.
Well, here's a little spoiler for anyone who doesn't want a specific character reveal in Shang-Chi to be spoiled. You should cover your ears and maybe not listen to the podcast for the next minute or two. But my favorite part about Shang-Chi, and something that really should get more people to go see the movie, is that one specific character appears, and it's quite shocking when it happens. You could say, "You'll never see him coming."
Yeah.
And I got really excited when I saw that actor appear on screen. I was like, "Yes! Yes!" I was really excited, and he's a big part of the movie. He's in like 60% of the movie. It's not like a cameo because, I was in another Marvel movie. Remember that? No, he's a big part of the plot, and it's really exciting.
I think I know who you're talking about, and that is interesting. Again, I'm gonna see it. I'm just like feeling reserved. Like I was getting really pretty excited leading up to Black Widow. You know?
Yep.
It was like, oh, Taskmaster looks like kind of a cool villain. You know, sort of. And even from the trailers, it looked like Taskmaster was on the side.
Oh,
you know?
Taskmaster
But it was like,
fucking sucked.
But it was like, cool, we're going to see the Russian heroes. We're going to see the Russian Avengers, basically.
Yeah.
You know? And that's going to be fun. And it was like... And even watching the trailers looked like a lot of fun. And they put in all the nice clippy lines, but it's like the best bits were in the fucking trailer.
Yeah.
Like when your girlfriend was saying, "You do superhero landing." You know?
Yeah.
That was fucking awesome. You know?
I felt that the best part of Black Widow happened at the end credits.
Yeah. Yeah.
With Julia Louis-Dreyfus. That was the best part.
So, like, I feel the same way towards Shang-Chi right now, where it's like, yeah, that looks really good, man, but, like, you just hurt me. You just hurt me. You know?
Well,
you have to
I will
build
say,
back some faith here. The scenes with Wong fighting Abomination.
Yeah.
That looks great. That looks like a lot of fun.
That whole sequence is fun. There is a mid-credit sequence in Shang-Chi, very light spoilers, that feature some pretty major MCU heroes.
Yeah.
So Shang-Chi ties more into the general MCU than Black Widow did, but times 1,000.
Okay, now I have a question here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably because I have not been keeping track of box office throughout the pandemic. Okay, but like, I was seeing Shang-Chi being hailed as like this massive hit, and the awesome Labor Day weekend box office, And what I saw announced was 83 million.
Yeah.
That sounds fucking awful. You can't tell me they didn't spend more than 83 million.
No. That's the thing, is that that's a big hit in the pandemic.
That's what like I was thinking.
Yeah,
But like I said,
but-
that's why I started with I haven't been tracking out box office throughout the pandemic.
Yeah.
You know, because I kind of figured that was playing into it. That's fucking awful.
Yeah. No. Pre-pandemic, that number would have been a huge bump. But in the pandemic, those numbers are massive. Yeah, The Suicide Squad, this week's movie, great movie, absolutely love it. It did shit in the box office. But it was like one of the, I think like the second highest.
I'm sorry, we
movie.
just had a massive bolt of lightning out there.
Really?
That was awesome. Yeah. Go ahead.
Cool. It's hot as fuck outside where I'm at. But The Suicide Squad, it did horrible in the box office, but it was like one of the highest streamed movies of the entire year. So I think that alone means that they'll make a sequel.
Yeah. And if that's the box, then fucking I'm Team ScarJo on this one. You know what I mean? Like, if that's the box office, and you were promising a big fucking release for Black Widow, you have totally ripped her off.
Yeah.
You know? Again, frankly, if you ask me, she should have had a movie way fucking before this. She should have been an action figure. A lot of other things.
They should have given her a movie right after the second fucking Avengers movie, which went into her backstory in the Red Room.
Yeah.
And, I can't have a child because they ripped my uterus out in the Red Room where I was trained in secret in Russia. And it's like, boom, right there you release the Black Widow movie. You don't wait until now.
Yeah.
Plus, I can't get over the fact that I think Shang-Chi is the 25th or the 26th movie in the MCU. And still, I go to the movies on opening day of this brand new Marvel movie, and still, 60% of the theater is leaving once the credits start. Like, how do you not fucking know this by now? That there is shit still in the movie.
Yeah.
Pisses me right the fuck up. Fuck is wrong with you? God damn. Yeah.
So and okay, so now something else I'm really wondering about. All right, there. Okay. No, the neighbors. Somebody's knocking on the neighbor's door, and it's so close to ours, it's hard to distinguish.
Gotcha.
But anyway, so is Brie Larson okay? Is she okay? I mean, the Marvels is the next. Really? What are we doing here? I'm not sure.
Oh, because Monica Rambeau becomes Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
So there's a second Captain Marvel, and Monica Rambeau is the little girl from the Captain Marvel
The first
movie,
Captain Marvel.
who was also got older and was in WandaVision.
Yeah.
And in WandaVision, they talked a lot about how Monica Rambeau has some issues against Captain Marvel, which they'll go into in the Marvels movie. But also, in between now and the release of the movie The Marvels, they will be giving a live-action TV show to Kamala Khan, a teenage Muslim woman who also becomes Miss Marvel. And you see her a lot using her power where she can stretch her arms out and beat people up. And so She's also a Miss Marvel, so the next Captain Marvel movie will feature all 3 of those Captain Marvels, which is why it's called the Marvel.
Yeah, it just seems like that's starting to squeeze Brie Larson out, and I know she's had some troubles fitting into the Marvel universe for some reason.
Well, the way that I see it is, a lot of people are doing Brie Larson the same way that they did the female Ghostbusters movie,
Yeah.
where it's like, I want to see a superhero movie, but a superhero movie starring a girl? The feminists are taking over. I'm an adult virgin. I'm an adult virgin.
It's not one of my favorite Marvel movies. Not quite sure where it lands, but I find it very entertaining. I find
it's
her
watchable.
pretty entertaining in it. I don't like the whole other all I'm glowy kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not a huge fan of some of the effects, basically. I think the story. I think the story fits the times better, but I hope it doesn't stop from doing other Skrull stories.
Yeah.
I can accept Skrull good guys and Skrull bad guys. I could totally do that.
I hate Annette Bening in it. And
You hate what?
I hate Annette Bening in that movie.
I haven't really seen Annette Bening that I wouldn't have preferred somebody else.
And I'm weirded out at the fact that they de-aged Samuel L. Jackson, but big fan of everything that Jude Law does in that movie.
Yeah.
Love Jude Law as the good guy who's secretly a bad guy who's a really great bad guy.
Yeah.
And I really love Brie Larson in that film. I fucking love her in that. It's just rewatchable and it's fun and
It's very
great.
rewatchable.
Love that movie.
You know, I almost have to put beating up an old woman on the same level with having a monkey in a movie.
Yeah.
You beat up an old woman in a movie, like
You get some
automatic
points.
2 points.
Yeah.
You know?
Some points for that. Shit.
Yeah, I don't think it gets the credit it deserves.
The way I see it is that if you don't like Birds of Prey and you don't like Captain Marvel, then I'm just gonna assume that you're scared of vaginas.
Now, this is no critique of the movie. This is just how I am. You know, if I'm watching something at a certain time, it's like a 75% chance this is going to happen. So it's no judgment on the movie. But I got through about half of Bird of Prey, and I fell asleep, and I have never revisited it for some reason. I don't necessarily know why. I love Harley Quinn. And I was liking the movie. I just haven't revisited it for some reason.
It's fun.
And I'm also just personally, I'm trying to get away. It seems to me people have a concept that liking something and something being good are the same thing.
Yeah. I understand.
And disliking something means that something's bad. And that's not true.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't... My like or dislike of something says nothing about the goodness or badness of a thing.
Yeah.
I am not a fan of fuzzy ballerina paintings.
How dare you?
You know, does not mean fuzzy ballerina paintings are bad. You
But they
know.
are.
Now, if it was a fuzzy zombie ballerina dancing, maybe I can get a little buy-in.
Okay, maybe.
You know. But that doesn't mean that it's bad. If I like something, it doesn't mean that it's good.
Yeah.
You know. And I'm trying to just get really away from that concept. You know?
I understand that.
I mean, I can accept that Picasso is good. I don't like it. You know? Except, Andy Warhol is an asshole.
Agreed.
That's a little different. But I think we have everything kind of covered that's coming up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Spider-Man, then it's Mountain of Madness or whatever, Doctor
the
Strange.
Eternals. The Eternals.
The Eternals
Spider-Man,
is
then
next.
The Eternals, and then Multiverse of Madness, I believe.
Yeah. So what's on Shap?
We will be discussing a war that a lot of people don't know about, but it's an important war, and finally the truth is going to come out. And there's a shocking Shyamalan right at the end. A shocking one. And I have pictures that I sent you. You got the pictures?
I got the pictures. You're gonna have to cue me, man.
I will cue you. I will cue you. I've got A, B, C, and D all lined up.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Pretty sure I have them in the right order.
okay, I marked them on the shaft when they come. So, yeah, no, don't worry about that. I got you.
All right. So then let's get on over there.
Yes.
So until next week.
Yeah.
Self-adhesive tape? Yes, please.
I love that.
And cut. I'm really trying to get some spin on that.
Yeah.
And cut on that.
And cut on that. Bye!
Yes!
If you're like me, you're no doubt a big fan of this podcast, The Pope on Film. I mean, who isn't nowadays? It's sweeping the nation. It is just a clean sweep. This segment is a janitor because it's just sweeping the nation. But only real fans, true hardcore fans that have been with us since episode 1 would know 2 facts about us, about the both of us. 2 undeniably really real and in no way made up on the spot facts about you and I, America's hottest podcasting couple, Bunny and Steve. First and foremost, Bunny, is that in your spare time, you are a screenwriter, and a very successful one at that. Can you tell us, though, Bunny, why you only write Barbie animated direct-to-DVD movies?
Barbie represents the ideal woman in a 50s patriarchal fantasy. Okay? So there is a lot to say about Barbie, the filthy fucking whore she is.
Nice.
That can only be told through Barbie animation.
I really like the movie that you wrote, Barbie in the Slime Bowl Bolorama.
Yes.
Really liked that one. That was a good one.
Yes. That was a thank you. There was also Barbie Has Cooties.
Yeah.
I was pretty proud of that one. That was a horror movie. Um, it's not beach sand Barbie scratching. You
That was a
know,
good
that
one,
was that was actually supposed to be a children's movie. You know, but things just didn't pan out. That's all I say. I want to say. All of the lawsuits have been settled,
Nice.
so we could drop it now.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Good. Glad to hear it. And the second fact that you would know about me is that I'm a lover of history. I love it, but I'm also a storyteller. So what I like to do at this part of the podcast is find a story from the history books, maybe one that people don't know too well, and reword it via my own unique storytelling style. And that's what this is, another educationally uneducational installment of Steve's Historic Approximation!
Dan, Dan, Dan.
Or SHAP, as I like to call it, repeatedly, annoyingly, whether anyone wants me to or not. Personally, I like the name SHAP, and hey, fun fact for you, if you work for IBM, then SHAP stands for the Special Health Assistance Provision, which is a program that reimburses you for any medical work you may have that happens to be out of network, which is nice, but you do have to fill out the proper SHAP form, which is available at acclarisonline.com. Be sure to fill it out completely. That is very important. Anywho, this week on the old Shappity Shap, we will be discussing a war that broke in Australia in 1932, which will sound fake, but I swear it 100% happened. And this Shap does have a twist at the end, a Shyamalan.
Okay.
So be prepared for the Shyamalan at the end. Really gonna just kick you in the jimmies. And for those of you wondering, hey, what is Australia? Let me tell you, it's just a part of New Zealand.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people have heard of it. Have heard of Australia? Australia? What's that? Oh, it's an island near New Zealand. Okay, 10-4. See what I'm doing?
But their accents are really fairly different.
Yes.
Which is interesting. And for Christ's sakes, Steve Gutenberg was right about the New Zealand accent in that stupid ass movie. I forget what it was called he was in.
Casablanca.
Huh?
Was it The Passion of the Christ?
It was not Passion of the Christ, although Steve Gutenberg was excellent in that.
Steve Gutenberg played Jesus, and then Judas was played by Michael Winslow doing funny sound effects. As they're nailing Jesus to the cross, he's making nail noises with his mouth. And the guy banging the nails looks at the hammer like, am I doing that? And then, Judas! Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see the whole thing, yeah.
Yeah.
That was wonderful.
Go ahead.
That was absolutely wonderful. A lot of people lump New Zealand with Australia, but I'm switching that up. So Australia is just a part of New Zealand. Okay, Bunny, you can put.
New Zealand gave us Lord of the Rings. Australia gave us Crocodile Dundee.
More importantly, New Zealand gave us one of the greatest lines in the history of movies. I kick ass for the Lord. One of my favorite lines from a movie where a priest in a New Zealand cemetery is fighting what are basically zombies. Anyway.
Yes.
Also, New Zealand gave us Flight of the Conchords and the Sodomy song from the end of Meet the Feebles. Which is one of my favorite musical numbers in the history of mankind. You can put up slide A, Bunny. The first one. You can
Exhibit
put that one up.
A.
So, okay. So, we're talking about Australia in this shack. Let me set up the story for you. The year is 1919. The First World War is over and all of the soldiers are returning home. And in Australia, apparently what the Australian government did is like, hey, there's a world war. And if it's a big hit, they're going to do a sequel. So you should go out and fight the war for us. And the Australian people are like, hey, bye, cracky. I don't know.
And they were also told that there was no pay and they were doing it for the exposure.
Kind of.
Yeah.
You're actually like on the money. And the Australians are like, what will you do for us? What will you do for us if we go and fight this war? And the Australian government says, we will give you land. And you will become landowners. We will give you free land if you fight in this world war. Now go and risk your life for us, please. So it's the end of World War I. All of the soldiers are returning home, and they go, hey, Australia, we're back from the freaking war. A bunch of us died. Anywho, you promised all of us soldiers land, so where's our land? And the government points to an empty field, which there is a lot of in Australia, and says, here you go. And the soldiers are like, what the fuck is this? And the government goes, it's farmland. Didn't we tell you? You're
Yes.
all fucking farmers now.
Yeah.
You're now officially farmers, and this nation needs wheat, so go be farmers and grow us some wheat. Don't worry if farming is too hard for you veterans. We will totally be paying you in subsidies. Well, spoiler alert, Australia didn't pay a single subsidy to the veterans. I think a dingo ate their subsidies.
Yeah.
Actually. Now that I think about it, a dingo ate your subsidies. So just imagine you fight in World War I. You face horrors, atrocities. Your friends die in your hands. You are holding your dead friend, and his intestines are spilling out of his body, and you're trying to keep them in his body, and just the blood and guts and intestines are flying out of your hands. And finally you come home, having seen such horrors and atrocities that you will never forget. And the government says, congratulations, you're a fucking farmer now. Hey, we'll pay you. And then they never pay them.
Yeah.
Like, that's really fucked up. And so the 1920s were a very angry time with all of the forced veteran farmers growing wheat and then not getting paid the subsidies they were promised. The farmers are pissed, and every year they get more and more pissed, and they keep threatening to just stop farming. They're going to start the means of production. There's going to be a goddamn communist uprising in freaking Australia. Hey, Australia, hope you can live without wheat, because us forced veteran farmers are getting real fucking pissed off over here. So this is the setting. So it's 1932, and the veteran farmers are getting their wheat crops set up, while also threatening to not grow any wheat, because fuck the Australian government for not paying them. That is when the enemy arrived. Growing wheat. I don't know how much you know about wheat growing.
We're still on slide A, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But we will be switching soon. I don't know how much you know about wheat growing, Bunny, but growing wheat requires a buttload of water. Just a ton of water. And in Australia, you know what's in Australia? Well, number one, Australians. Number two, koalas, and apparently they all have STDs.
Yeah.
And then number three, there are emus.
Yes.
The second largest living bird. Second only to, can you tell me what is the largest bird?
The ostrich.
No, big bird.
Big bird.
In Sesame Street.
Who is
So
an
it goes,
ostrich, is he not?
No, he's just a big ass bird, and there's just one of them. So it goes big bird, and then emus and ostriches, and the rest. All the
Yeah.
other birds are just and the rested, like the professor and Marianne. Emus are native to Australia. Huge ass birds, fast runners, wobbly bodies, wobbly heads, wobbly necks. Good luck catching an emu.
Yeah.
They are fat. They
And
got
very
claws.
aggressive, I have heard.
They are super aggressive. And so this is what happens in Australia. Every year the emus have a breeding season, emu sex, a big Australian emu orgy. And then afterwards they go, phew, good orgy everyone, really good sexing. Now let's go to the coastline, because there's a shit ton of water at the coastline, so we're going to walk to the coastline. We can hydrate for a few months, and then finally, when we're rehydrated, it's orgy time again. So that's an emu's year, okay? But what I'd like to think happened was, it's 1932, and this time around, there's an emu who thinks outside of the box.
Yeah.
This would be the emu Robin Williams would voice if they made a movie. He's like, no, I'm going to go a different route, you know? Let's call him Barry. Barry the emu. And he goes, you know what? I'll meet you emus at the coastline. I'll meet you there. Because I always go the same route with you guys, and it's crowded, and there's just a bunch of us. Like, I need space. I'm going to go the long route. You guys go that way. I'm going to just go over here and just get into an adventure, see what I can do. Wander the earth like Caine and Kung Fu. I'll meet the rest of you guys down there. And so Barry the emu goes off on his own. He's the first one to notice it. So you can move it to slide B now. You can move it to slide B. So Barry goes off on his own, and he goes off in search of just fun and see what things he can see. So Barry the emu is the first one to notice it. Barry the emu is the first one. Okay? So he runs to the coast. He meets up with the others. And he's like, guys. You know how we have our big emu orgy in the middle of Australia, and then we walk all the way to the coastline so we can get water? I found these farms. And they have a shit ton of water. So if we just go to the farms, we don't have to go all the way to the beach. And everyone's like, oh man, we don't have to freaking walk all the way over here? No, fuck it. Okay, let's go. And this is true. Remember, 100% true. In 1932, the emus descend upon Australia's farmers. Over 20,000 emus.
Oh my God.
Descend like a biblical plague on Australia's farmers. Basically, imagine the American Dust Bowl. To put
Yes.
an American perspective on it, because we need an American perspective on everything in America. So just imagine the Dust Bowl in the United States, but imagine the dust is also pecking your face and taking huge dumps everywhere. Just imagine the Dust Bowl, but it can also scratch your eye out.
Yeah.
And then there you go. So that's what they're dealing with. So overnight, the forced veteran farmers of Australia have their farms, their crops, their freaking everything just totally decimated by 20,000 emus. It's an emu army. Suddenly the entirety of the nation's farmland is destroyed in one fell swoop by the 20,000 emu army overnight. What is Australia to do? So the farmers meet with the government and a deal is made. And it's like, hey, government, you have to do something. Send in the troops, send in people, because we've got nothing. We have been destroyed. And Australia's like, well, you know, I don't know if we're going to do it because we have a long history of fucking overused farmers. I mean, you guys will have to meet us halfway. What's in it for us? And so a deal is made. If the forced veteran farmers provide food and lodging and pay for ammunition, I'm just going to repeat that a second time for no good reason. If the farmers pay for ammunition, mission,
Yes.
then Australia would send in the entirety of the Australian army to fight the Emu menace. Hence, the name, the official name, the 1932 Emu War. An actual thing that actually happened. So the way that I see it in my head is just imagine, if you will, a desolate patch of Mad Max type land, which I assume is like 40% of all of Australia. You know, just a dirt road and some mountains and some guy strapped to the front of a vehicle that's on fire.
Yes.
And just, you know, all you see is dust and dirt and occasionally a Thunderdome. And so
Yes.
now imagine farmland there in the middle of nowhere, but instead of farmers, it's angry fucking veterans. In my mind, I think of a farmer as like, you know, this old withered white man, and oh, my father gave this farm to me and he got it from his grandfather.
He's in touch with the land.
Yeah, and times are hard.
He
It's like,
harmonizes with nature.
and he's one of those people where it's like, is the wheat ready? Let me pick up one stalk and smell it. Let me lick it a little bit. 2 more weeks.
A classic farmer is a nurturer.
And he picks up the soil and he rubs it in his hand. He spills a little bit and he's like, it's gonna be a good crop this season.
Yes.
Maybe he puts a little bit of dirt in his mouth, like chew between his gums and his lip. And he's like, that's good dirt. We're gonna have a good. He's up at like 4:30 every morning.
Yeah.
To start doing the work. But then when I imagine farmers in Australia, they're all Michael Rooker.
Yeah.
You know? They're all just like pissed, and at any moment they'll shoot you, and their arms are covered in tattoos of naked prostitutes they bang.
Okay, I think I got it. They're the chain gang from Cool Hand Luke.
Yeah. Those
They're
are
all
farmers
out in the
Australia.
fields with hoes, and they're digging trenches, they're turning over the land, they're getting ready to plant, but they are not fucking happy about it.
Yeah. It's crazy to think of how farmers in Australia, especially in the 1930s, differ from your idea of an American farmer. So imagine desolate wasteland. In the middle there's farms, and in those farms there are angry, pissed off veterans. Now imagine 20,000 emus on the land fighting veterans of World War I. But now, imagine the Australian army, fucking tanks and jeeps and machine guns rolling in to fight the emu menace. And here's the thing though. They're like, this will be easy. We've got guns, we've got rifles, we've got machine guns. We are just easily gonna decimate this emu army. Emus are fast as fuck.
Yes. They're like one of the fastest land animals, right? Didn't you say that before?
Yeah, they're fucking fast as shit. You can move it to slide C. Emus are fucking huge. They are huge. And they're fast, and they're running like a son of a bitch, and they're angry, and they will attack you. They will fucking decimate you, and then they've got wobbly ass necks. There is a surprising amount of emu war fan art out there.
Yeah.
A lot. And this picture right here, this right here, this is one of them. Just a random one that I found that I'm really happy with. But, so not only are they fast,
they're like, emu are kind of like the badgers of the bird world.
Yeah.
You know, they can call geese pussies.
Yeah. They've also got their head on a swivel. They got that rotating neck that's just wobbling all over the place. So in the first 6 days of the Emu War, the Army had already used a fourth of their total ammunition. They already were running out of ammunition and needed more ammunition after only 6 days. But the Army said, "Hey, don't worry though. We've done good. We have killed. Let's see my notes here. 200."
Yeah.
Now remember, there's 20,000, and they're here talking about how they used a fourth of their total ammunition and only killed 200 birds. So they've wasted a ton of ammunition for a very ridiculously small amount of dead emus. And don't forget the veteran farmers who were getting screwed over by the government. They're the ones paying for the ammunition that the Army is wasting trying to kill emus with fucking machine guns.
Yes.
Apparently, it's really difficult to kill an emu with a machine gun. Because it's moving all over the place. Even with 1,000 bullets in your machine gun, good luck trying to shoot emus in a pack of emus.
Yeah.
Say that
The emus.
were
Okay, that is a weird way to combine the 1932 emu war and the Matrix, but okay. Yes, they are fast. Yes, like Neo. There you go.
And they're emus. I mean, can't you come up with a better way of dealing with emus?
I mean, shit. You might have had a better job of just putting two swords in your hands and just moving around in a circle. You might have a better job killing emus that way than with a freaking machine gun. By day 7, over 2,500 rounds of ammunition have been used, and the Army said that between 200 to 500 emus had been killed, but other people at the time, including some of the farmers, they were like, hey, don't listen to the Army. They only killed like 50.
Yes.
So, depending on who you believe, they killed anywhere from 500 to 50 emus. Meanwhile, the media is having a field day with
Out
this.
of 20,000?
Yeah, out of 20,000, they killed somewhere between 500 to 50 emus in a week, and they used over 2,500 rounds of ammunition. The media's front page headlines in Australia, government losing war to birds. Birds defeating Australian army. So the military arrived on November 2nd, 1932 to start the Great Emu War and retreated on November 8th, 1932. The army retreated.
Oh, man.
And the veteran farmers are all like, excuse me, we're still dealing with an emu-demic over here. Can you help us out like you said you would? So on November 12th, the Australian Army is like, fucking fine, we'll go back. Okay, round 2. And they resumed the emu war. And I just love the visual image of Australian soldiers in combat vehicles killing emus with machine guns.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I know that this is like a stereotype, but I'm just going to come out and say it. You might have had better luck with boomerangs.
Yeah.
You know? You might have had better luck at defeating the emus. You know?
I mean, okay. Yes, I understand they're emus, and yes, I understand they're very fast, but, like, if they're traveling in a big pack, as the previous screen suggested, like, it seems like you don't even really have to aim.
Yeah.
You know, you shoot in the pack, and you will be mowing down emus. So what is the problem here?
You would think that. You would think that. But apparently it's much harder than that. Apparently once you show up with your Jeep still with the turret gun Jesse Ventura used in Predator, they start running like a motherfucker in all different directions. It's not like, oh no, they're shooting at us, let us move in a pack away. Apparently what the emus do is, shit, these
They
whiteys
scatter.
have guns. scatter, and then they just go their own way. And so now the Australian army is forced to try and focus on one, but like good luck shooting one. And yeah, apparently it's fucking hard as shit to kill an emu with a machine gun. Who knew?
Yeah.
Apparently Australian veterans did. Anywho, they killed some, but obviously not all, and by December of 1932, the news of the Australian Emu War started traveling all over the globe, and scientists in Europe came down hard condemning Australia, saying, essentially what is happening is the Australian government is trying to eradicate an entire species of birds, and the birds are winning, and we've got to err on the side of the birds here. We cannot let this stand. Near the end of the Great Emu War, over 10,000 rounds of ammunition were used to kill only 900 of the 20,000 emus. And the public blowback over this failed emu war was so great, the public outcry was so huge, that at the end of 1932, the Australian government officially stopped their war on emus. So to reiterate, Australia declared war on emus, and emus won!
Yes.
Like, who can beat the Australian army? Apparently, a couple of birds can.
See, I still don't understand why. I mean, it sounds just to bilk the poor, you know.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't make sense for the military. It's like, well, you know, you're the farmers on the land. You are the ones with the emu problem. You're a trained fighting force. Yes, we will help you by sending you guns and ammunition, but there will be a fee for that. You know, I mean, and just put it on the farmers to fight off the emus.
Yeah, you would think that. I mean, that's a good idea. It's better than sending the freaking army to go fight emus, apparently.
I mean, they are in effect a trained army already, and they know the land.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta get me one of those signs.
Yeah, I just made it. I'm really proud of it. At the present moment, right now in 2021, there are over 700,000 emus having emu orgies all over Australia. Why? Because they won the Great Emu War of 1932. Shit, they can have all the sex they want.
Yeah.
You earned it, emus. And which, of course, is where the expression "as easy as shooting an emu" came from. You know that classic expression?
I have never heard that.
We need to climb this mountain? This will be as easy as shooting an emu. It's not an expression, but I'm hoping to start it.
Okay.
I think that we definitely should start it. Now,
I agree. I just want to point out that we did not have a lot of success with "It's a Pippin."
Oh, yeah, it's a Pippin.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, that was an odd story, the story of the Great Emu War. That was an odd story, sure, but it gets odder. Because Hollywood has come a-knocking.
Okay.
And they are currently working on a movie entitled The Great Emu War. A script has already been written with a hopeful release date of late 2022. The script was written together. And now you can switch it to the last picture funny. Because this is shocking. The script for The Great Emu War was written by the screenwriting team of John Cleese and SNL's Rob Schneider. What the fuck?
Is that who that other guy was?
This blows my mind!
Yeah. man, I can only hope that Cleese can keep him reined in.
My mind boggles at this. My mind boggles at the fact that, and it's not like, John Cleese is in London and Rob Schneider is licking Adam Sandler's asshole somewhere, and they meet together over Zoom.
Yeah.
And they hash out their scripts, and then they write the scripts separately or something, and then they combine them. No, they met and worked on this together in the same room. 3 people wrote it. The third person is some Australian comedian who I've never heard before, and he teamed up with John Cleese and freaking the copy machine guy from SNL.
Yeah.
And together, they wrote the script for the Great Emu War. This blows my goddamn mind. And it's kind of sad, too, because it's like, oh, why would John Cleese write with Rob Schneider? And it's like, oh, well, actually, with the way that society is right now, what you should be saying is, Rob Schneider? Why would he ever work with someone like John Cleese?
Yeah.
Because John Cleese has turned into a real asshole as time goes by. Right now, he's also working on a movie that will tackle the biggest subject that is plaguing mankind right now. Cancel culture. So, John Cleese is really...
Which I don't know. I mean, it's possible that could surprise us. I don't have a whole hell of a lot of hope. You know, I think it's going to be what I'm kind of afraid it's going to be. You know, but I don't know. I would hope John Cleese is intelligent enough that cancel culture is not really a fucking thing, and it is no different than what humans have always done.
No, cancel culture is what is ruining society right now. It is horrible that you just say one horrible joke or say one horrible thing in America and society cancels you. He probably came up with that while hanging out with his close personal friend J.K. Rowling. And I can see why John Cleese would be against cancel culture, because remember his amazing show Faulty Towers? Oh man, that show was hilarious. I loved the parts where the stupid Spaniard said something stupid because he couldn't speak the Queen's English like normal people. Ah, foreign people are so stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, so John Cleese and his best friend J.K. Rowling are trying to fight against cancel culture. So Rob Schneider is looking like the best one in this group at this point. You know?
When hasn't this fucking existed? You know, I mean, I lived through Procter & Gamble, motherfucker. You know? A pack of fucking right-wing evangelicals decide that the Procter & Gamble symbol is satanic. And it's all over the fucking news. I mean, I would cry if it wasn't a big corporation.
Yeah.
But it hurt their business. Wah, I don't give a fuck. But is that not cancel culture?
Yeah.
And where did that come from?
Yeah.
What drove the entire satanic panic, which was all about cancel culture?
Yep.
You know, so like, please, go ahead. I'm sorry. And since we're on the topic, I've been kind of meaning to give a shout out to Seth Rogen. You know?
Why?
Because he had done a series of interviews and he covered kind of a lot of topics. You know, I think it was like a quick interview kind of a thing. And one of them is that he was asked about cancel culture and things like that, and he was like, I'm sorry, but comedy changes. And I'm sorry if comedy is changing right now, but that is how it is. What you're calling cancel culture is things that people just aren't finding funny anymore.
Yeah, and the far right keeps saying that cancel culture is ruining America. And to be clear, I want to say that again. The far right, who has previously tried to boycott Apple, Target, Disney, Netflix, the NFL, Geico, Wells Fargo, Campbell Soup, Starbucks, Macy's, Pepsi, Archie Comics, Nordstrom, Amazon, Marvel Comics, Ben & Jerry, Anheuser-Busch, Amazon.com, and American Girl dolls. They're so sick of cancel culture.
Yeah.
So, it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit.
And shit changes, man. Some things just aren't as funny anymore, regardless of the reason. Like I find a big form of my whole humor is stupid outrage.
Yeah.
Getting mad over nothing, getting over the top mad. I can't think of an example, but I've done it a million times.
Yeah.
Well, these days, that only works if you know me.
Yeah.
Or else people just think I'm stupid.
Yeah.
Because there are so many. I can't top people taking horse dewormer. My stupidity has a hard time matching the fucking reality. And I get it. I'm not blaming anybody. If somebody else said it that I didn't know, I would think they were a fucking moron.
Yeah.
So I'll do something like that and you'll laugh, Jeannie will laugh, a couple of friends on Facebook would laugh, but everybody else would think I'm a fucking moron.
Yeah.
If I started talking about and getting outraged about Joe Biden being a clone, which I could certainly do, I could probably do a good 5 minutes on that. But anyway,
yeah.
It's a joke. It's a big fucking joke. But motherfucker, it's already been done.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I understand what you're saying.
I don't like the screaming about cancel culture because your shit is stale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the story of the Great Emu War. A war that Australia fought against emus, and then emus won. So that's why in World War II, the first thing that Hitler did is unleash his army of trained emus.
Yeah.
And that's why Hitler took over so many nations, because all of the Nazi soldiers were riding emus.
Uh-huh.
And so all of the Russian and Australian soldiers are like, shit, we can't shoot the Nazis. They're moving too fast. Damn it.
Well, now,
shooting an emu.
Did they then ride those emu to Antarctica, where they had met the very large, quote-unquote, Nordic-type aliens who were teaching them how to build flying saucers?
Fucking probably.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Next week, we will be talking about, on Shaft, we will be talking about one of the greatest, the second greatest baseball player. Because everyone knows that the greatest baseball player is Doc Ellis.
Yes.
Who we have discussed on the podcast before.
Yes, we have.
I have found the number 2 greatest baseball player of all time, and we're going to be telling his story next week. So join us next week for more educationally uneducational fun with Steve's Historic Approximation! And cut on that. Bye!
Yes!
We still have a movie to talk about, and not just that. Man, we need to talk about Bill the Cat, Sylvester Stallone, Poison Ivy, the Star Wars Holiday Special, the Fast and the Furious, Andy Warhol. That's it, I remember.
Okay.
Andy Warhol. But before we get to any of that, maybe we should take a break. Should we take a break?
We should take a break.
Okay, I concur. We will be right back with more of the Pope on Film after this. Do 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 and break.
Year is 2022. The future. The terrifying world neurometabolites of Catalina, murderous machine, and politics. Ravishing, killing every survivor they can find. The times that they're coming, or they will learn. They push this sex button too far. Lindsay Thousand. When this place breaks down, all hell is loose.
Between work and school, I'm a very busy person. I don't have time to meet this special someone. So I went to loverstate.com, paid the $700 fee, and filled out the questionnaire, which they obviously ignored. What?
Hey, baby. My name's Ted the Stud.
Ted the Stud?
Yeah, it's really Ted the Stud, but, that don't rhyme.
I wanted someone who was financially stable. Oh, okay. Are you ready to go?
Oh, hey, are you gonna pay for this? Because I spent my last $5 on some lottery tickets and some 40 ounces. Oh, never mind. I got some Chef RD in the car. Be right back.
I wanted somebody who was sweet. Oh, they're beautiful.
Yeah, amazing what you find when your neighbors don't lock the car door. Hey, you need a Bible?
I wanted a person who was family-minded. So, do you have any kids?
Yeah, I'm sure somewhere. Hey, who is that there picture of you?
That's my sister.
You.
How about later on you, me, and her get together in the bedroom?
I wanted someone adventurous.
Are you expecting somebody?
Look, if it's the cops, I'm not here.
You're wanted by the cops?
Yeah, look, it's a little bit of a misunderstanding. See, I didn't know she was 15. I thought she was 12.
I wanted someone to call me unexpectedly and tell me they needed me. Hello?
Hey, baby.
Ted, it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
I know, baby, but I need you real bad. The cops got me. I need bail money like now.
It cost me 20 minutes of my time to fill out the questionnaire. $700 to join, 1 bad date, 20 calls a night for 2 weeks, and another $200 to file a restraining order. Thanks a lot, loversdate.com.
Loversdate.com. We just promised you a date.
Wow. This room is perfect. The aura in here, man. Oh, just, it's so good. This is a great room.
Yeah, I mean, this room is exactly like the one downstairs. I mean, you can do whatever you want.
A shrine right there on the wall.
Oh, yes, a shrine with incense. Yes, can you smell the incense everywhere? Yes.
And my Chopra poster.
Chopra, wasn't he an extra on Star Trek?
And my sign right there. Oh, yes, my sign.
Well, we'll have to move the TV.
Yes, throw it out.
Oh, yes, get rid of it altogether.
Man.
Well,
We don't.
you don't need a TV downstairs if you don't want it.
No, that TV.
Yes.
That TV?
No.
That one.
Wait, are you talking about moving in here?
Well, yeah, man.
No, you guys can't move in here.
Well, why not? It's so
I sleep in the nude.
well, me too, man.
Nice move. No, Lauren. That's the sign. I say it's the moon. I know it's the sign. Now, by my mother's son, that's myself, it shall be moon or star or anything I list ere we journey back to your father's. Go on. Get the horse.
There's seriously something wrong. Okay, it's the moon.
Inside the house on a sweaty day. If I'm stuck outside, I'm gonna use a sandbox where the children play. When nature calls us kitties, what's a kitty cat to do? When you clean the box and make it fresh, that's when nature calls me. And I'm talking about number 2. I'm leaving my mark, I'm the matriarch. It's a work of art, super stinky too. I don't got no idea why it gets me on so much. I love using the sandbox too. To use a cat box. I like to use a cat box. Another thing that really gets me going is when another cat comes around. After eating dinner and taking a nap, she gonna throw the kitty poo down. She making sure that the litter box is hers. She ain't messing around. When a kitty cat's gotta go, kitty's gotta go. But she's also leaving her info. I like to use a cat box inside the house on a sweaty day. If I'm stuck outside, I'm gonna use a sandbox where the children play. In the book of cat, there are meanings. What we do is what we say. They say we should be covering our leavings instinctively, but if we don't, I'm leaving someone alone. A message
heard his hauntingly beautiful music in movies, on radio and TV. He's sold over 20 million records round the world. His name is Zamfir, master of the pan flute, that magical instrument with the unforgettable sound. Now in his magnificent all-new collection, Zamfir plays the world's most beautiful melodies. Relax, as Zamfir sweeps you away to a world of haunting, tranquil beauty. Your best-loved melodies, richly orchestrated in Zamfir's all-new two-record treasury. But remember, this magnificent collection is not sold in stores. Please stay tuned to order.
Use your credit card and save COD charges by calling toll-free 1-800-421-2000. Or, to save all additional charges, send check or money order for only $12.98 for 2 albums or 2 cassettes, or $19.98 for 2 compact discs to Zamfir, P.O. Box 8449, Atlanta, Georgia. Remember, that's Zamfir, P.O. Box 8449, Atlanta, Georgia.
Be like water and come back next week, or I'll kick your ass.
You gotta be kidding me. You're gonna risk the entire mission for a mental defective dressed as a court jester.
This coming from a guy that wears a toilet seat on his head. We don't leave one of our own behind.
Hopefully Harley's still alive.
No funny business, Colonel. These are dangerous people.
Team 2 is clear to go.
Fire on. 3, 2.
What are you guys doing?
What? We're here to save you.
You were gonna save me?
It was a really good plan, too.
Well, I can go back inside and you can still do it.
That's patronizing.
I'm so sorry. Harley Quinn.
Blood sport.
You know the deal. Successfully complete the mission, you get 10 years off your sentence. Times are hard. You fail to follow my orders in any way, and I detonate the explosive device in the base of your skull.
Can do the job for free. So this is the famous Suicide Squad.
Num?
Any questions?
And?
Yes, that is your hand. Very good.
We're all gonna die.
I hope so.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Here's the deal. We fail the mission, you die.
If we find out any information you give us is false, you die.
If we find out you have personalized license plates, you die.
What? No.
If you cough without covering your mouth.
Harley, although that isn't an open invitation for you to cough without covering your mouth.
What's the plan? How the hell am I supposed to know?
You're the leader. You're supposed to be decisive.
And I've decided that you should eat a big bag of dicks.
If this whole beach was completely covered in dicks, and somebody said I'd eat every dick until the beach was clean for liberty, I would say no problemo.
Why would someone put penises all over the beach?
Who knows why madmen do what they do?
This is suicide.
Well, that's kind of our thing.
Don't you worry, eh? I'm gonna get you out of here alive.
I'm going to get you out of here alive.
Oh my God! We've got a freaking kaiju up in this shit!
Uh-huh.
I don't wanna do your We love the rain. It's like angels are splooching all over us.
And we're back with more of the Pope on Film.
Act 3, buddy!
Act 3! Act 3!
Yes, Bunny, my friend, it is time once again for all of us here at the Pope on Film podcast to Humpty Dance our way into the third and final act of the show. And it is said third act wherein we finally, eventually get around to discussing our movie of the week. And this week we discuss something actually fun for once. The 2021 film that, as opposed to the films we watched this summer, does not suck balls. The new movie, The Suicide Squad. And first off, let me say that everyone was talking about how great John Cena was in this film. I looked all over the place. I didn't see him at all.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
I don't know where he was. Did he play the rat? I don't know. I didn't see him.
Yeah.
So, after the summer that we had, we spent this entire summer doing a deep dive into the IMDb Bottom 100 list of the 100 worst movies of all time. And after that horrible, hideous, no good, very bad summer, it's nice to watch a movie with a script that isn't horrible.
Yeah.
And with people in it that can actually act.
Yes.
And I'll keep saying it. You know, every time I see John Cena in a movie, I thank God that no one wanted to buy his rap album.
Yes.
So every time I see John Cena, I go, oh, thank God he was bad at rapping.
I really haven't seen John Cena that I'm aware of. I think this is pretty much, I know he's been in things.
He was in Bumblebee. Did you see Bumblebee?
Yeah, I vaguely recall Bumblebee. It was a fun movie, though. That's all I remember.
He was the one who finally said, hey, maybe we shouldn't trust these Decepticons. Because they say they're good guys and they're here to help, but I think they're bad guys. And also, you know, it should be said, they're called the fucking Decepticons. Maybe we shouldn't trust the guys with deception in their freaking name. Are all of you idiots? So I appreciate that. So anyway, thank God that John Cena can't rap, because now we get to see these movies. And I'm hoping that eventually, I know this is ridiculous. I know that this is stupid, but I hope that eventually someone makes some action movie that stars John Cena and The Rock and Batista. I think John Cena and The Rock were both in one of the Fast and Furiouses, but to have those three together in a movie, that I would see.
Yeah.
You know? Bunny, what are your initial thoughts? What do you like about this film?
I
have a big list. What do you like?
It's
what
really...
do you dislike?
Out of the comic book movies that I enjoy, I do not enjoy this as much as a Marvel movie. And I'm going to attribute a lot of that to just not knowing the characters very well, so a lot of the nuance just goes by me. But out of everything that DC has offered, it is by far and away my favorite DC movie.
Yeah, this, out of the, when it comes to movies I could watch over and over again, it's this and Shazam. Really
This is a movie like I have a hard. I hope that was a good enough description for it. I sort of feel like I need to bring it through a wormhole and twist it around a bit to actually get at what I think about this movie.
Okay.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I liked it a whole fucking lot.
Yeah.
I don't like it as much as Guardians of the Galaxy, which would be its closest comparison.
Yeah.
You know.
There's a lot that I like about this movie. I like the psycho swerve that happens, like, right before the credits.
Yeah.
You know, the whole idea of, oh, Vivian Leigh, the star of Psycho, and then she dies a half hour into the movie Psycho. So I feel that, like, here are the Suicide Squad, and then you realize, then they just all die.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. And then you realize that they were just a diversion for another team. Like, I really like that. I like the little snippets that you get of seeing other D-list villains in the prison in the beginning. Like, you see Calendar Man, played by Sean Gunn in the opening.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Is that who he was? I was just like, oh, there's Sean Gunn.
Yeah, you can see January, February, March, April, May tattooed around his skull.
Well, see, that's exactly what I mean. That I am not familiar enough to, like, this is what I'm definitely willing to give the movie, is that I am not familiar enough with the DC universe to appreciate things exactly like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of little things hiding like that. Like the guy who was next to Sean Gunn laughing was a character, an obscure like Flash villain, I think, and his name is Double Down. And these magical playing cards will appear all over his body, and he carves them out of himself and throws them at good guys. Like a really weird body horror sort of thing. So Calendar Man is making a joke, and right next to him is a guy with squares carved out of his face, and that's Double Down.
That sounds way time-consuming in a fight.
Yeah. Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah.
You know, first I have to generate a picture of a card on my face. Then I have to, I mean, even if it's pre-perforated somehow during the tattooing process, I guess, so that you could just rip it without having to get a scalpel and shit like that. And then you have to energize that flap of skin with whatever power you have.
Yeah, like, it might be easier if you just, is there any way that your magical power could be on, like, pre-processed cheese slices? And then you can just throw the cheese. And just be like, I would like to see a Gambit, but he's really clumsy with cards. And so he's like, oh yeah, mon ami. Well, is this your card? Oh shit, I dropped him. Hold on. Shit, like, okay, here. Is this your card? Oh shit, that was the rule. I don't think I can throw those ones. Shit, let me find one. A Joker? Will this work? You know?
I am down with that, and that Gambit has to be just like arrogant as fuck.
Yeah.
You know, like you'll face the great and powerful Gambit. Prepare to die.
And like he doesn't know cards.
And that's where the cards go everywhere. Yes.
He doesn't know how to like shuffle.
Yeah.
And then he has a cousin, and he has the same power, but he only throws shoes.
Yes.
So it's like if he gets into a fight, there better be no more than 2 people he's fighting.
Yes.
Because he only has 2 shoes.
Yes.
So, oh no, there's bad guys. Oh wait, there's 3 of them.
But anyway,
Bad.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Gambit's cousin Greg.
yeah, I loved Harley Quinn's over the top New York accent, like your classic fake New York accent.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I really appreciate that. Just and she had just some good bits.
Yeah, she did.
In this with they're coming to break her out, but she's already been broken out, and she comes up behind them while they're trying to rescue her. That was great. And who's Milton?
Oh yeah, I forgot about Milton. That's really good.
Are we? We're always spoiling shit, aren't we? Yeah, there were a lot of really good, very entertaining parts of it.
Yeah.
I also again, it was a really good movie.
Yeah, I liked it.
It was a really good movie. When all the cute ass little sucker fish were popping up on the glass to the king shark guy.
Yeah.
That was a fun little bit, and I kind of thought that that's where that was going to go.
I like the fact that Rick Flag, who was in the first Suicide Squad film, is in this second Suicide Squad film. But I like the fact that he looks like shit in the second Suicide Squad film. Because in the first one, he's just all handsome and rugged and buff and willing to fight the bad guys no matter what it takes. But in this second film, he looks like he's seen some shit.
Yeah.
He doesn't look as buff, he doesn't look as handsome, there's more rings around his eyes, and it just shows that, like, time has passed between the last film and this film, and motherfucker's done some things and seen some shit, and I like that, you know? He looks exhausted in this film, but that's good. I also like the swerve of the first person we meet is Michael Rooker, and his character is this bad guy, and then finally when the shit hits the fan, he just runs away.
Yeah.
You know, I like that. And I love the opening credits because they use the song People Who Died by the Jim Carroll Band.
Is that who does it? I love that fucking song.
Yeah, Jim Carroll is an author and a poet and a musician, and when he was younger, he got into drugs, and he worked for Andy Warhol, and he was one of many people who, Andy Warhol wouldn't write a script, Andy Warhol would hire people to write a script for Andy Warhol. And so Jim Carroll was one of the numerous people that would like do drugs with him and hang out with him and write dialogue for his shitty movies. He got addicted to heroin at like a young fucking age, and when he tried to like get off of heroin, he got into like art and poetry and music, and he wrote this song with his band that is literally just a young heroin addict talking about all of the other like misfits and addicts he knew and how they died, and that's the entire song. And I fucking love it, and it's perfect for the opening of the Suicide Squad, and it feels the same way that it does hearing Miserlou in the opening credits of Pulp Fiction, that this song is so badass that it sets up a gauntlet that the rest of the film now has to live up to.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
This song, what this song always reminds me of, and I never knew who did it. I know it from the end of the Dawn of the Dead remake.
Yeah, forgot about that.
It's in the closing credits and the interspersed ending shots from the movie.
Yeah.
Through the song. So that's where I know it from, but it's very reminiscent of the ending passage of Philip K. Dick's Scanner Darkly.
Yeah.
Where he's listing all of his friends who have either died of overdose or have otherwise fucked themselves up by taking drugs while not passing judgment on any of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Love that song so much, and I was so happy to like go into a James Gunn film and be like, this song I already have on my phone.
Yeah.
So, hooray. Like, I'll have to add Kansas's song Dirty Work, but I don't have to add Jim Carroll. He wrote a book about his childhood being a drug addict and all of that, and the book was called The Basketball Diaries. He released it, I think, in the 80s, and then in the 90s it was turned into a movie with a ridiculously young-looking Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah. Now, I have a question, a Suicide Squad question.
Okay, what's your question?
Let me give my answer first. My answer is no.
Okay.
Should the Weasel be developed into a bigger character?
I'm going to say yes, and I will tell you exactly why.
Yeah.
James Gunn based the character of the Weasel on Bill the fucking Cat.
Yeah. Oh, that totally makes sense.
And I love that, and it makes so much sense for James Gunn that he would like go to Bloom County for reference for a Suicide Squad film. And like when I first saw the movie, I didn't like the Weasel character, but I was really excited at the one scene at the end credits. But I wasn't a fan of the Weasel character. But then when I learned that about Bill the Cat, and I watched the movie again, it's perfect. It's spot on. It's everything.
Okay, now let me defend my no. Okay? Think about how cool it would be is if the Weasel became to this franchise what that chipmunk or whatever the fuck he is came to the Ice Age movies.
Scrat. His name is Scrat, good sir.
The Weasel would be in every Suicide Squad movie, yay, possibly every DC movie henceforth.
Yeah.
But he's always just doing his own shit. Like, the movie just cuts away for a couple of seconds. What's Weasel doing? It has nothing to do with the rest of the fucking movie.
Yeah, I'd be alright with that.
But you just get little bits of Weasel story sprinkled throughout the DC universe.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. That would be awesome. That's a great idea.
So no, we wouldn't really be developing his character.
Yeah.
You know, he would still be like a...
We'd just see his random adventures.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. You know who voices King Shark? Nanawe, they call him?
No.
Sylvester fucking Stallone.
Oh, is that what it was? Like, I've seen his name come up on the credits, and as soon as the movie starts, I forget that Sylvester Stallone is in it. Yeah, never caught on.
It's really surprising because Sylvester Stallone...
He's the shark.
Voicing King Shark? That's odd. I never expected Sylvester Stallone to voice someone who's stupid.
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone is so articulate.
Yes.
It must be difficult for him to dumb down his already brilliant sounding voice.
Yeah, I wasn't like. See now, this is me again not knowing enough about the DC universe, but like to me, all he really kind of looked like was a Hulk ripoff.
Yeah.
You know, and all we really did is kind of change Hulk Smash for Nom Nom. I mean, don't get me wrong, he was a fun character. He was very entertaining in the movie. You know.
I like King Shark better when he's voiced by Ron Funches in the DC animated show Harley Quinn, which is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
The Harley Quinn animated show is fucking amazing, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
It is so good. I can't wait for season 3. Did you see Lloyd Kaufman in the bar?
For like a fucking fraction of a second. Yes.
Did you see the other cameo in the bar?
No, because I just stopped and rewound that one. Like,
yeah,
because he was there, gone. It was like, is that fucking? Yeah. And he was gone. I had to go back to confirm that yes, in fact, that was Lloyd Kaufman.
Yep. A lot.
But talk about blinking, you'd miss him.
Yeah. A lot of people miss the second one. There are dancers on stage at the bar, and the dancer in the front with the red hair, that's actress, I wrote it down, Pom Klementieff. She played Mantis.
Oh, okay.
In Guardians of the Galaxy. So, that was cute. And I love the fact that the bad guy is Starro the Conqueror, who was the first villain that the Justice League ever formed to fight. From the first issue of the Justice League of America.
Yeah.
Their first villain was Starro the Conqueror. And that's always one of those like big DC villains that no one would ever be crazy enough to do in a movie. And so then,
and it was a fun villain for this movie.
Yeah.
This was a superhero movie.
Yeah,
with twisted superheroes.
Yeah. This movie, it makes sense for James Gunn to pick.
This is why, I mean, if you remember one of my biggest complaints on the first Suicide Squad movie was when, I forget the name, Will Smith, Batman had his kid.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, a villain would have taken that shot. They would have shot through their child at the chance of taking Batman down. They're bad guys. So when we had the scene in the prison, I was like, I fucking absolutely loved it. When Idris Elba's daughter came to visit because she had just stolen something, and they had a yelling, screaming fight.
Yeah,
I was like, yes, this is exactly. He's the bad guy. Why are we expecting good parenting out of him? He's a shit fucking father. She's a shit fucking kid. And they're the next. She's just the next generation villain.
I want to take this time to say that the Bloodsport's daughter in that scene was played by actress Storm Reed, who was one of the stars of the forgotten 2019 African-American sci-fi crime drama Don't Let Go. It was one of my movie picks of the week back when I was going to do movies, and it's like a time-traveling science fiction cop drama with a black cast, and that alone is like worth going to see it. But she's one of the stars in it. Her name is Storm Reed, and I fell in love with that movie. Don't Let Go. Not a lot of people saw it when it came out, but it's a really good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said this earlier in the podcast, but I really relate to Dot Man's parental issues.
Yes. Now I had heard. I have not memorized this actor's name yet, but he's getting to the level of seriousness that I am going to have to learn his name, find out his name, and learn it. But I have heard that. I forget what it was, but he did something very nice for the actress who played his mother.
Oh, that's nice.
For having to be so, like, hateful toward her.
Yeah.
In the movie.
That's cool.
And I was like, well, goddamn, that's sweet.
He's also in the MCU. He's the Russian one in Ant-Man.
Yes. And he's from some third thing, too.
Yeah. I love him because he says my favorite line in Ant-Man, which is, "This is the work of gypsies." And I say that a lot, like in a week. I end up saying that a number of times. Like, who drank all of this? I don't know, definitely wasn't me. Are you sure? Yeah, it was the work of gypsies. And I will say, the end scene with Harley in the eye freaked me the fuck out.
With what?
The end scene with Harley and the giant eyeball successfully freaked me the fuck out.
Yes.
The first time that I saw it. It freaked me out.
Yeah.
Freaked me the fuck out. Apparently, I have an eye thing, so thanks, James Gunn. Okay,
well, Lucio Fulci got me over that years ago.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got
the eye trauma king.
Yeah. I've got a bunch of background as to how this movie got made.
Okay.
Okay. So, the first Suicide Squad film, it's released in 2016. That film was written and directed by Hollywood golden boy David Ayer. He wrote the script for Training Day. King Kong Ain't Got Shit on Me. And he also wrote the first Fast and the Furious movie.
Nice.
So...
I guess. I've never seen those movies. I actually can't say whether it's nice or not.
Well, I don't know if the movie's any good either, but you wrote the first script in a massive 10-movie series. So, that gives you a lot of cred in Hollywood. So he started directing movies in 2005, and they wanted, and when he got hired to direct Suicide Squad, his idea was like, oh, it's going to be gritty. So they hired him. Like, Warner Brothers was like, it's going to be a gritty, dark film, gritty film. So they hired David Ayer, who wrote Training Day, Fast and the Furious. And so what he created was a dark, moody, gritty film. And the first trailer for the movie shows that. There's no neon. There's no cute thing flying on the screen. And the very first trailer shows David Ayers' dark vision. But apparently, I guess, his dark vision didn't test well, because by the time the second trailer comes out, that's when the film is now the bright, glittery, neon hot topic monstrosity that everyone hates to this day. For a while on Twitter, a release the Ayer cut was trending.
Yeah.
So, like, the DC fanboys were hoping to do it again to see David Ayers, like, a dark, gritty take on the Suicide Squad. Apparently, he had, like, a half hour in the beginning of just backstory to all of the different Suicide Squad characters. And so when they cut his version of the movie, they cut all of that out and just used it as small sprinkles of flashbacks.
Yeah.
But originally, it was just a long look at how all of the characters got there, and then the Suicide Squad happened. And there was none of this weirdo neon hot topic crap. So, David Ayers makes Suicide Squad, and it made a lot of people money, despite the fact that most people hated it. Like, it was commercially reviled, and it's like got a 25% on Rotten Tomatoes or something like that. But it made about $750 million goddamn dollars at the box office. So Warner Brothers is like, okay, we need to make a sequel, but we need to make it not the last movie. So that's a difficult way to start out any film. But the original plan was Will Smith and David Ayers made Suicide Squad, and then they both left to go make David Ayers' next film, motherfucking Right, for Netflix. And I saw that movie 3 times for the goddamn podcast. I couldn't tell you anything that happened in that film.
Here's something that I could kind of go for, though. Okay? Because I find this very interesting that this movie is the Suicide Squad. It's not Suicide Squad 2. It's its own thing. And well, let's run with that. Okay? So James Gunn did this one. Let's see Oliver Stone's Suicide Squad. Let's see Tommy Wiseau's Suicide Squad. You know?
Yeah. Quentin Tarantino's The Suicide Squad.
Yeah. We'll just...
we've got to go back to Corto Maltese, and I forgot my shoes at home.
Like, here's the framework. Here's what the Suicide Squad is. What's your take?
Yeah, that's interesting. Jordan Peele's The Suicide Squad.
Yes.
I'd be down with that.
Diablo Cody, whatever happened to her?
Diablo Cody's The Suicide Squad, yeah. The Suicide Squad, Gilmore Girls.
Yes.
Suddenly Harley Quinn is talking 3 times faster.
Yes.
So the plan was for Will Smith and David Ayers to do the Suicide Squad, and then they'd leave and do Bright, and then they would come back, and they would both return to do the sequel to Suicide Squad. But David Ayers left Suicide Squad 2, the planned Suicide Squad 2, to instead do a different film. He wanted to do another DC movie. This one would be called Gotham City Sirens. Remember that, Gotham City Sirens.
Okay.
And the film would star Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, and Catwoman, all in one movie. And that was like David Ayers was like, oh, I can't wait to do Suicide Squad 2. What other movies are you guys working on? Oh, Gotham City Sirens? Shit, fuck Suicide Squad 2. I want to do Gotham City Sirens. So he leaves to do Gotham City Sirens. But then Gotham City Sirens gets put on the back burner because, wait, we can't make this Gotham City Sirens movie and Birds of Prey. So, fuck it. Okay, David Ayers, we're putting Gotham City Sirens on hold. We're doing Birds of Prey instead. So David Ayers is like, that's fine, I'll wait. But I'm definitely attached. I can't wait to make the Gotham City Sirens movie, so remember that. So, Birds of Prey. If you don't like Birds of Prey or Captain Marvel, I'm going to assume you're scared of vagina. So David Ayers is out as the director of Suicide Squad 2, and Warner Brothers is struggling to find directors. And at one point, they tried getting Mel Gibson to direct it, so I can only assume that the Warner Brothers executive office doesn't have a single Jewish person. I think that's a safe thing to assume about Warner Brothers Studios. They don't hire Jews for the executive office. But what happened was, James Gunn has been a smash hit for the MCU. He did Guardians of the Galaxy, and that was a big hit. He was also in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was a big hit.
2 grows on you a bit more.
Yeah.
You know,
I didn't like it as much the first time I saw it, but now I see it now and like, oh, I love hearing that fucking Fleetwood Mac song and the beautiful scene where they're first looking at Ego the Living Planet and George Harrison comes on and it's like, oh, that's some beautiful shit.
And I'm like, of course Peter Quill was conceived in the woods behind the Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, there are a lot of really fun bits in that movie.
Yeah.
It just has to grow on you a little more than the first one, which was just like bang,
Yeah,
just
knock
out
out
of the
park.
box, amazing.
Yeah. So, James Gunn was a big hit for the MCU. He did Guardians of the Galaxy and Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and he's making a bunch of money for Marvel. He also wrote all of the Guardians of the Galaxy scenes in Infinity War. Anytime that Peter Quill or any of the other Guardians popped up in that film, he was writing it. So
Really?
here's the team. Here is the Russo brothers, and they're writing the script. And oh shit, now the Guardians of the Galaxy come, and whatever they passed the typewriter to James Gunn. So James Gunn wrote all of those scenes, and I like the fact that they did that. So James Gunn is a huge hit for Marvel, but he's also a very vocal leftist who would spend a lot of time online attacking Donald Trump and the Trump administration and everyone in the far right. And so what they did is the right-wingers dug up all of the dirty and offensive tweets James Gunn did back in his Troma days.
Yeah.
When he was making movies direct to VHS.
Uh-huh.
Like, lower than low-budget movies. They dug up all
And
of
his
these,
first movie, if you remember, that got any attention was what was it? Was it Shiver?
Shiver.
I get a little bit confused with the title of that and an older Cronenberg movie, but this was the one with Michael Rooker.
Yeah.
And a few other
people named
B-level character actors.
Yeah.
You know, but like a decent cast. Nathan Fillion was in it as well.
Yeah.
And it was his first non-trauma movie. And it wasn't bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember there was one trauma movie I was obsessed with in high school, and it was a direct-to-VHS movie called Blaze.
Yeah.
About a lawnmower at a golf course that went crazy and started killing people, and it was so dumb, but I loved it. I just loved this dumb, low-budget, evil lawnmower movie.
Really?
So the right-wingers dug up all of James Gunn's old tweets and demanded that Disney fire James Gunn, which they did, and then Warner Brothers just scooped him up, and it's just like, James Gunn, oh, we've been waiting for you because the DCEU is just completely in the shit house, and so we need you. And
Yeah.
we're so excited, and come with us. We're giving you the keys to the big boys. We want to sign you to make the next Superman movie.
Yeah.
And James Gunn wisely said, fuck no. Superman is lame. I'm not doing Superman. And also, I'm not sure if you're fully aware of my oeuvre, but I kind of already did make a Superman movie. I'm assuming you didn't see Brightburn.
Yeah.
But anywho, so WB said, well, fine, if you don't want to make the Superman movie, then you can adapt any DC comic book you want. Anything you want. At all, period. And I'm a little bit upset that James Gunn didn't pick my favorite DC comic book, Captain Carrot and his amazing zoo crew.
Yeah.
Little bit upset, because a James Gunn Captain Carrot movie is just right up my alley. Not to mention the fact that in the first issue, in order to get people to buy Captain Carrot and his amazing zoo crew, there was an interdimensional warp hole, And Starro the Conqueror, the bad guy from this movie, tries to destroy the animal universe. And so Superman shows up, the regular Superman, and teams up with Captain Carrot to defeat Starro.
Yeah.
A lot of kiddie comic books back in the 80s would be like, okay, here is the first issue of Heathcliff, the comic book. Better put Spider-Man in there.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that this is the DC equivalent of that. But, yeah, so James Gunn chose Suicide Squad, and they gave him 100% free reign, and I really appreciate that, because Marvel is very specific about what you can do with their characters, but DC was just like, hey, you do whatever you want. Be as gory and as filthy as you want. You want nudity? Go for it. Kill whoever you want to. You want to kill Harley Quinn? Fucking do it. Right now, the DCEU is basically the Wild West, so just kill whoever the fuck you want. It doesn't matter.
Cool.
And so I was actually, so that worried me. And I went into this movie the first time I saw it going like, fucking Harley Quinn could die in this film.
Yeah.
There is a good possibility that they could die in this film. And there was a character who died near the end that I was surprised about. I was surprised at the fact that, really, this motherfucker's dying. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but then a number of stars back in the MCU, a number of the stars put their foot down and said, I'm not doing a third Guardians of the Galaxy film without James Gunn. So Disney wanted James Gunn back, and Disney and Marvel and DC and Warner Brothers, they all reached an agreement that, like, fine, you can have James Gunn back only after finishing the Suicide Squad. Now, James Gunn has done the Suicide Squad, and now he's back to work with Disney on Guardians of the Galaxy 3. He is also once again going to be a consultant / screenwriter.
But let's stop a moment and you know, a lot of those tweets and comments that he made, man, they were really on the rough side. And, like, I'm not opposed necessarily to make a pedophile joke, you know, but, like, man, I don't know. If you throw somebody out of Hollywood for it, though, you know, I'm not sure.
But also, I think one of the reasons why I'm so easy to forgive James Gunn for some of his horrible tweets is also like, I understand you going that far in dark humor when you are thinking, oh my god, I'm a big-time director. I'm directing a trauma movie. You know, like, okay, you're a member of the trauma family.
Yeah, exactly.
So I can fucking understand you being like a horrible motherfucker on Twitter.
Yeah.
If you are thinking at this moment, trauma movies are the biggest thing I'm ever going to do, then yeah, you're going to be a fucking douchebag on Twitter.
And like his whole gig is trying to get as far out there as you can.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, like, I that's why I say, like,
yeah.
Everybody occasionally makes a joke that bombs, you know? And I don't know how much you should hold him at, like, what are we saying? Are we saying he's a pedophile because he made some bad pedophile jokes?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he missed his mark on some of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So is that worth throwing him out in the ether?
Yeah. Anyway, the whole story is fucking convoluted, but if it wasn't for those tweets resurfacing, we never would have gotten the Suicide Squad. So that's a weird way to look at it, you know? They're like, the reason why this movie exists is because right-wingers went back and found offensive tweets from someone. That's weird. That is some weird ass shit.
Okay,
so-
I have a question though. Because I've watched it 3 times now, and I've enjoyed it each time. But something I keep missing. Did Melvin exist before Polka Dot Man brought up Melvin? When Melvin, I'm sorry, Milton.
What do you mean?
Was he actually in the movie before that? Because I don't remember Milton.
Yeah, Milton was the, like, fat foreign guy who was their contact that got them into the city and was mainly driving them around.
Okay.
And so, like, so when they finally enter, like, Jotunheim, which is a really funny thing to have in this movie because Jotunheim is a place in Thor which Idris Elba was also in.
Yes.
So when they go into Jotunheim, I thought that was odd because it's like, wait a second, why is your driver with you?
Yeah.
This seems a bit odd. This, as the young people would say, this is a bit sus.
Yeah.
So when he finally died, I liked that whole scene. Milton! Who? Milton! I liked all of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's who he was. So, yeah. So he was throughout all of that. The entire ending I really loved. Especially when Polka Dot Man.
Yes.
Oh, so good. So now, James Gunn is finally done with the Suicide Squad. He's back at Disney. He's back at Marvel. He's working on Guardians of the Galaxy 3. He will also once again be writing all of the Guardians of the Galaxy scenes in Taika Waititi's upcoming Thor sequel.
Yes.
Because that will be featuring Jane Foster as Thor, and also Thor, who is now a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
So they will have a part in it, however big or small, and James Gunn will be writing all of that. And also,
and we've seen it. You know, we've had a look at that before, and it's a good pairing. Thor, for whatever reason, worked with Taika. Really works well with the Guardians of the Galaxy.
oh yeah, I'm super excited for them to team up.
You know, their sensibilities work very well with each other.
Yeah. And I'm really excited to see the new Thor movie and just another Taika Waititi superhero movie. Although I will say, I am deeply upset that apparently in the new Thor movie, Thor has started eating right and has lost weight. I am gonna miss Fat Thor.
I kind of enjoyed Fat Thor.
I'm gonna miss the Big Lebowski Thor.
Yes.
I'm really gonna miss that. So, also, it should be noted, James Gunn is currently working on a Christmas special, and I'm so excited for this. It is entitled, it is scheduled to be released at the end of next year, and it is a live-action, hour-long special that will be titled The Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. And I just know in my heart of hearts, all we know is the title, and that James Gunn will be writing it and directing it, and it will be live action. But in my heart of hearts, I just hope and pray that this is James Gunn doing a Guardians of the Galaxy themed parody of the goddamn Star Wars holiday special.
Yeah.
That is a dream to me. And the plan is that when James Gunn is then finished with the MCU, he will be returning to the DCEU, where he is now rumored to be writing and directing, wait for it, Gotham City Sirens!
Okay.
So they're just having James Gunn steal everything from David Ayer. So death to David Ayer, long live James Gunn. Very excited about that. Also, they just wrapped up the John Cena Peacemaker TV show.
Yeah. Where are they going to be putting their TV shows?
HBO Max, the same place that the Suicide Squad screened when it came out. So yeah, James Gunn wrote and directed that too. It's coming out soon. It's coming out January 2022, which isn't that far away. So we're close to a...
I wasn't as big of a fan of John Cena in this movie in comparison to the other characters. John Cena and Idris Elba, they played well off of each other, being similar type characters, but their interactions tended to drag the movie down a bit, I think.
The way that I saw John Cena's character was that Captain America got the Punisher pregnant.
Yes.
And their baby was John Cena.
Yes.
And so that was my mindset going into the Suicide Squad, and that helped me just care about his character more. That it's just the hardcore, almost blind patriotism of like 1940s and 50s Captain America, but with the like revenge bloodthirst factor of the Punisher.
Yeah. Yeah, I just didn't no, I totally got that. I just didn't feel that it was as entertaining as some of the other characters.
Yeah, I get that.
You know. And pretty much the same with Idris Elba as well. His character was too serious for the rest of the people on the team. You know?
Yeah, I understand that. I feel that too.
But I absolutely loved Harley. I loved Polka Dot Man. I liked King Shark. I was not in love with him because I saw a Hulk clone. But I loved Rat Girl as well.
One of the things that I love about this movie is that they trick you. They tried to trick you. So many people did press for this movie and said, "Oh yeah, I'm John Cena, and I am here with my supporting cast member, Flula Borg. We are both in the Suicide Squad." Like, Michael Rooker did press for the Suicide Squad, and Pete Davidson did press for the Suicide Squad, and fucking, like Nathan Fillion did press for the Suicide Squad, and that made you think, oh, well then maybe Pete Davidson will die 30 minutes in, 45 minutes in, but people did press for this movie that died 9 minutes into the fucking movie.
Yeah.
And that is really fucking like, wow, you really went out of your way to try and trick people into thinking that like, here's this massive team of people that will be in the Suicide Squad. I'm like, no, a lot of the people who did the press for this died quickly.
Yeah.
And it's like, that was a neat little trick you did there, James Gunn. Fucking, that was awesome. So that's all I got. I liked it.
Very fun movie.
Yeah, it was fun. And that's what I'm going for. Because the summer sucked, we watched, we focused, we took deep dives into IMDb's list of the bottom 100 worst movies of all time, and it was horrible and it sucked, and so between that summer and the time in the end of September and all of October where you take over the podcast.
Yes.
I just wanted to show some fun-ass shit. And so next week, I am so fucking excited to be doing one of my top 3 movies of the year.
Okay.
I absolutely love so much. Next week, we're doing the supernatural horror mystery whodunit comedy Werewolves Within.
Werewolves Within.
It has a great cast, including Guillermo from the TV show What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah.
And the host of Baby of the Year from the greatest television show of all time, I Think You Should Leave, with Tim Robinson, the greatest show of all time, despite what Bunny might tell you. I'm not sure if Bunny should be a part of my Dangerous Nights crew anymore. Because he did not like I Think You Should Leave. It's got a great cast, it's funny, and it's a werewolf movie, but it's also a Clue type whodunit, and it's funny, and it's a horror movie, but it's not too gory. It's just fun and funny, and I am in love with it, and it is so good, and I can't wait to do it for the podcast. Also, this is me not saying that you should go to the Pope on Films Facebook group, where there definitely won't be a link to a fan-made version of the Suicide Squad soundtrack, because they released a soundtrack of music, but of course it didn't have all of the music because they couldn't get the rights to Jim Carroll, they couldn't get the rights to I don't know, I got my mind set on you.
Yeah.
And then they also did a score, and so there's a fan-made Suicide Squad soundtrack that has all of the music that was used in a bit of the score, and it's definitely not available for free for you to download right now by going to the Pope on Film Facebook group. So this is me emphatically saying don't go there to look for a link to download the soundtrack for free right now, because it's just not there. And if it is there, then I don't know, maybe we were hacked, but this is me emphatically saying that it's definitely not there.
Yes.
So, next week, Werewolves Within, we will also be talking about the number 2 greatest baseball player of all time. I have a new business venture that I'm really excited about. And we might we might have wrestling news, because just every day, a million things are happening right now.
Yes, of which I'm kind of getting out of the loop now, because some of these people I just don't know. So I don't know why it's impressive that they showed up.
Yeah, I get that. But yeah.
Like, I have never once seen, what is it, SLC Punk? SCL Punk?
CM Punk. CM Punk.
Yeah.
Oh.
Never once saw this person wrestle, but at least I know, okay, he was a very popular wrestler who left weirdly and has shown up here. So, okay, I get that.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's an insane time to be keeping your eye on the world of professional wrestling. So we might do that next week. But now that I'm looking back at this week, the ups and the downs, Andy Warhol and Emus and Shang-Chi, Willem Dafoe's penis, I gotta say, I think that this has been a pretty good episode of the podcast.
This has been a damn good episode.
Okay, good. I felt the same way. You know, I said, I think that this will be a damn good one, but I didn't want to say that because you're the one who makes that distinction, not me. I don't want to step on your character. But anyway. Anywho, I concur with your assessment, good sir.
So until next week, I am Bunny Williams.
And I am Reverend Stephen on behalf of Natasha, Maxwell, Eleanor, Mal, and everyone else in the house. I just want to say thanks for listening, and we will see you next week, you godless heathens.
And you do all of them put together.
Whatever this is.
Okay, I don't know.
It's cookies with sprinkles.
And cookies with sprinkles? Oh, yum.
I love.
Do 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 do. Bop-a-doo-wow. Cut and print.